In any case, let me double check. We are all at the bagel, right? Do we need a recap from last time, or is everyone good?
Recap would be nice.
Very well, David. I will give you a recap just for you. And darn, talking feels weird when I got this gap in my front teeth. Hmm. Been like what? Shoot. 28 years since I've had to feel something like this.
Ooh, damn.
AKA when I'm a kid and like teeth are falling out.
It doesn't hurt, does it?
Oh no, they had a root canal done on it. It doesn't hurt at all.
Oh, okay. Loves it.
Just feels weird whenever I make an F sound. I can feel the air just blowing through that hole.
Ah, that would drive me nuts.
Mm, indeed. Okay, so last night, for perhaps the second time, you each awoke on the evening of Friday the 15th of September 1995 in your own separate accommodations. Alvin, as usual, at the Daily Bagel. Olivia, in your sire's basement. Hmm. Thankfully, not as a body pillow this time. Ashley, in your green little room where you've always gone to sleep at. Well, not necessarily this room, but in the chantry at the very least. And Pious in the sewers. Hmm. You each had your own little thing going on last evening. For Alvin, it was a meeting of the local business owners and the Daily Bagel, which went rather well, all things told. For Olivia, her sire had a surprise for her, namely, she's getting her own bike. And in fact, they even met a rather nice young Bruja who's going to be overhauling it for her to make sure she gets it looking exactly as she wants. The only thing I vividly remember from that, though, is streamers. Streamers on the handlebars, apparently.
I think in my Discord the description's in there.
It probably is. I haven't looked recently. Water. It feels weird to drink, too, by the way. Mm. Right. And Ashley, your sire took you to his clinic, specifically the nighttime portion of it, where he apparently operates on people for no questions asked and cash money, at least at night, anyway. There, you also had a rather lengthy conversation, which he revealed some secrets from his past and dangled an opportunity in front of you that you didn't bite at least not yet. Perhaps that's the smart thing to do. As for Pious, well, you went on an excursion with Lynette. You dug up some graves, easy peasy, and you murdered someone for almost no reason at all.
Mm-hmm.
Grip on humanity is slipping. Because for some reason, perhaps this is a surprise to you, perhaps it's not, perhaps it disturbs you, perhaps it doesn't, but you didn't feel guilty at all. Wonder why that was. In any case, we come back into finding ourselves at the bagel. A largely successful meeting now finished. While it may yet take some more work and planning, Alvin undoubtedly feels that progress has been made, especially with everyone making it to the business table to begin with. But with it over, and your guests having gone their separate ways, during a brief break in the relentless drizzle outside, you're left on your lonesome with only Kyle for company, who is currently focused on the rather minor cleanup from the meeting itself. How do you feel about what you've done so far tonight?
Still in the beginning. Over the couple of weeks that I've actually had to sit down and think on it and have a clearer head about this, I think that shortly thereafter, Alvin would be looking to the documentation of who is actually left as tenants for the upstairs floors and getting an idea of, knowing who these tenants might be and their backgrounds, considering he likely has their background check, who might fit over what vacancy each of these compatriot businesses have.
Yeah, I won't lie or even try to pretend like I have a list of those tenants, but yes, it seems like something reasonable that Alvin could be doing.
So his mentality is, making sure that a notice is, getting readied for these tenants and an explanation of the situation that they will, in fact, have the choice to accept a vacancy at any of the other nearby businesses, as well as the first drafts of the idea of where the vehicle for these shared couponings and such will go. As Alvin has already mentioned in the past, he's wanted to make the Daily Bagel a place where journalists and the like will come and donate stories and things like that to set up a magazine or a newspaper of sorts. And so each of these little magazines of sorts will likely have a page spread for each of the designated businesses with a set of coupons or the like, or at least this is the idea he's going to cement as the pitch to the rest of the businesses. While he's got them tantalized with the idea of cross-pollinating their businesses, this is more of a, we'll help with advertising, and this is how you can set your own contributions.
You'll also need to find a student at the university, presumably to do said paper or magazine, I believe. Is that's his intent?
His intent is definitely to seek out different journalists to cooperate with this venture, to start to cultivate that little bit of a club, so to speak. He wants to get going, a network of information that just freely comes to his doorstep.
Certainly, and absolutely, that would be something any journalism student would probably jump on because it would look great on their resume.
Indeed. He also has a few other mindsets to take care of, but that'll have to wait until the tenants are sufficiently moved out so he can contact the necessary individuals to start renovating the upstairs floors and designated rooms. He's got half a mind to make a contact to one of those that is inside of his herd.
Indeed.
In fact, Michael Hewer is known for remodeling rooms to different designs and themes, and might serve as an adequate person to hire for such a project.
And I believe that the owner of the of Benger's Music and Records also mentioned he knew someone that could do good soundproofing, which could be useful for you for some of your rooms.
Indeed.
In any case, you're sitting down, going over your designs for the future, perhaps quite happy or at least relaxed the way everything is starting to finally look up after a rather hectic week.
Yes, he's not quite happy he had to use presence in order to sway the opinions of his peers, but he
It's a
wants to
tool
make
in
sure that this goes off.
It's also a tool in your toolbox, so might as well get
Indeed.
used to it at some point. It's not like you dominated them and forced them to make their decision. You just weighed things a little harder on your side. In any case, regardless of your internal monologue about what you've done, what you've recently done, what you hope to do, your phone rings.
Is this before Olivia shows up?
I do not believe Olivia. Did Olivia show up at your place last time?
Mm-hmm.
She was
Yeah.
about to, but we can just X that out because the mic went out and it really didn't amount to anything.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
Sorry, I did not remember you actually showing up, and I did not watch the last session's video all the way to the end.
Oh,
Yeah.
honestly, I don't mind, drawing back a little bit on that one because it was a
You were transitioning her to show up, and that was it.
Yeah, it
she
wasn't
didn't
anything
come through the
big.
door, nothing. It was just, there's a pink vehicle out in the front, and then Discord died.
Yeah, I would just reel that back and just redo that part. That's fine. I'd rather start with Alvin and work from there.
Alrighty. Well, I apologize for the slight inconsistency, but we'll get
No.
everything back together soon enough. Don't worry.
Well,
Good evening, Arthur. What is it that I can do for you?
Hmm. Perhaps it's also a bit strange finally hearing his voice, considering you haven't heard it in a few nights, and prior to that, you've heard it every night for the last 5 years.
For Alvin, it feels like peace has been ever so slightly shattered in the moment, but
What? I can't call to check up on my well-performing child?
I never said anything of the like. I'm just simply seeing what it is that you're after this evening.
Hmm. Well, if you want to cut straight to business, I can respect that. I will be coming to collect you with young Mr. Bell soon, as the prince has called a full court to meet this night. We will be there, and what Anthony assures me will be not a minute over 40 minutes. It will be less, but he was running an assignment for me when we received the news of the assembly, and he was forced to double back. Dress for success.
Already there, just completed a meeting of my own, so I'm quite ready for your arrival.
Wonderful. Now, I'm aware our dear Primogen has tried to throw a wrench or two your way through his own child, but what of it? Under a week, you have already proven yourself superior to such simple-minded machinations. All the while still finding the time to lead your coterie and being the first to accomplish their bestowed objectives. I'm quite proud of you. I always anticipated your success, of course, but it'd be very much a lie if I claimed to have believed you in succeeding both of those endeavors quite so early. I was sure it'd be a fortnight, but it would be a good benchmark to judge you by, and it's been at least less than half of that. Even that allotment of time. Bravo!
As ever, I'm forward on my missions and making sure that tasks are completed to sufficiency.
Mm. Well, I'm sure the next directory assembly will be quite enjoyable, but that is still nearly a month away.
Indeed.
In the meantime, I shall see you shortly in 38 minutes.
Understood. The door will be unlocked for you. You need only knock, unless you wish to call me once more, and I'll simply walk out and lock up.
Oh, I'm sure you'll know when we'll be there. We are driving in the limo tonight.
I see. Very well.
It's a full court meeting. Never underestimate the impact of looking your best in all the ways.
Sure thing. Was there anything else, Arthur?
Not at all, dear boy. Not at all.
I have a few other things that I'd like to wrap up before your arrival, then. I shall speak with you soon.
Of course.
Goodbye. And he clicks the phone off.
Well, there are your whatever future plans you may have had for the evening gone. Something wrong, boss?
Kyle, I hope you
Yes?
understand how easy you have it when it comes to our interactions versus my beneficiaries' interactions with the rest of the modern world.
Yep. I get part of the good stuff and not a lot of the bad stuff.
Yep. I truly appreciate how relaxed you are in our conversations.
Well, whatever I can do to serve you, boss.
That said, you got your own life and things you probably want to get done. Meeting's over, so please enjoy the rest of your night. I'll handle making sure that the rest of the progress we're going to aim for is doled out to those that need to know it.
Hmm. And with that, we will cut over to Olivia, but a few minutes prior to this, because I thought up something funny and I want to do it.
All right.
Hmm. So back at Jab and Jibs before the two of you had left, After double, triple, and quadruple checking with you as to your desired alterations for your new bike, Jabber will vanish into the back of his establishment, potentially to get to work on said design. And you are left alone with Lyra. Wait, I need to go back to the city map for this. Oop. And you are left alone with Lyra, who is currently bent over sniffing the exhaust pipe of a purple flame painted chopper.
What the fuck? Seriously? Olivia's gonna bend down and start sniffing with her.
Hmm. And as the two of you are bent over, sniffing the exhaust pipe of this brand new, never been used, presumably, purple flame painted chopper, Lyra just casually speaks up as if you're not currently bent over behind a chopper. Shame you've got to wait till tomorrow for it to be done, but I'm sure it will turn out wonderful. Jabber's
I
great
can't.
at these things.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
I
You
cannot
did
wait to
my
smell the
bike,
paint
though.
job.
Nice, nice. Now, come on, let's go before I decide tonight's night to test it if different colors on different bikes taste different. I'm sure I'll get to it someday, though.
Oh, I want to do that now.
Mm.
Do you think
And
he'll be mad if we do that?
Lyra looks at you. You look at Lyra. She looks at you. You look at Lyra. You both presumably turn down to look at the purple paint job on this bike and look back up at each other.
And I just start inching over to it slowly.
Hmm.
Wonder
Eventually, one of you perhaps makes the move, and it tastes, well, something. It tastes like something. Probably not something edible, but something. And then, honestly, it's kind of hard to tell what's edible or not when everything but blood probably tastes like ash to you.
Man, I thought that was gonna taste like a purple taffy or something. Ugh.
Yeah. Oh well, that's purple down. We'll get to the rest of the colors of the rainbow later.
Fair enough.
What to do next? Oh. How about ice cream? Maybe we can eat the vendor.
Ooh, I'm game.
Alas, it is not to be so. It's like a rippling wave. You receive a flurry of images through the network. A clock with a time indicating an hour from now, and an image of the prince's court full of faces. You're getting better at feeling the flow of minds inside and outside your own head in the Dread One's ballroom, and vaguely recognize the touch of the broadcaster as Elizabeth Dane, your primogen.
Oh.
Lyra sums up everything in one word. Damn it. Well, no more fun tonight.
Man.
Hmm. Now let's go get you back to what was it called again? The Daily Bugle? The Daily Bugle, right?
Yeah, sure. You know, everything bagel.
Hmm.
I don't know.
Was it a see, I thought it was like I thought it was like some of those like weird chips, you know, the ones you put on your fingers like claws.
Oh my god, I haven't had those in a while. Do you have any?
Those were all the rage in the 90s.
Oh my god, I remember those.
Hmm. No, but they'd probably taste like ash. Unless we
Nah.
want to spend the blood for it, but we're going to go to the assembly, and showing up hungry is considered rude.
All right.
Don't worry, we can find some somewhere sometime. Maybe along with a nice, cute gas station attendant to eat.
I like this. I'm game for it. If I can survive the assembly and not licking tables.
I recommend you don't do that. I don't think the prince likes it for some reason. Like he's never licked a table in his life. Sheesh. Eventually, you own all the things, and everyone knows that licking something makes it yours. So I presume they just secretly get their licking done when no one's watching.
Ew, imagine if you're touching all the tables and like the prince had licked everything in that room from wall to ceiling. I have to claim my territory now. I'm gonna lick every wall.
That's the spirit. Actually, okay, just remember, you can't get in trouble if you don't get caught. And with that, Lyra will pat you on the head, smile, wink, and lead the way back to the tie-dye. Wait, did y'all take the car or did you take the motorcycle?
Motorcycle, I think.
Okay, yeah, to the tie-dye motorcycle that y'all rode in on.
I'm totally gonna try to lick something in secret.
Her latest prank, if it can be called that even, but hey, it's Malkavian, so probably, planned out. We head over to Ashley. Who, wait one moment, I gotta get so many damn pages. I gotta start making folders for all these pages. That would probably work out better. Probably.
I wish I was organized.
You wish what?
I wish I had organization. I just don't.
No, I'm organized, but I think I need more subfolders. Yes, everything just spilling over everything at this point.
You know, it's so much easier to keep that kind of stuff organized in Foundry.
Shush.
Nick trying to segue in that foundry there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're paying him to be a spokesperson of some kind.
And today's
If I-
sponsor is Foundry.
I was hoping I'd get paid, but no, it's not so.
Stop being an e-hooker for Foundry, man.
What can I say? I'm a slut for good service.
When all you've known is bad service, that's understandable.
I know,
Looking
right?
at Xfinity.
And on today's episode, what is Nick slutting for tonight?
In any case, at the clinic. Wait, I need water. 1 minute. Okay, yes. After a frankly revealing conversation from your sire involving a potentially alarming secret of his and a good deal about his past, alongside an offer you've, for now, turned down, you find yourself back in the dirty basement operating room, watching your sire remove 3 bullets from an unlucky mortal that may or may not have done something to bring the situation on himself. The young man on the table definitely looks like how you might expect a thug or criminal to appear, and given what Dr. Thorne mentioned of his after night portion of his clinic, you'd probably be willing to believe this man is very much what it seems. You're not a mere watcher, however, as your sire seems to delight in this being a good learning experience for you, and has you assisting him in the form of passing him tools and taking dirty ones from him in turn. You don't always get it right, but you're certainly a fast learner. How squeamish does Ashley feel watching this up close?
Not very squeamish.
I figured. How are you on blood, by the way?
Good question. Hold on. Nine? I think I'm at 9.
9, what's your max?
14.
You're good. You're good for right now. If you were a point or two lower, I'd probably have you make a roll, but as you are, you're fine.
She does have.
Eventually.
She has medicine knowledge, by the way. So she's not very squeamish.
Okay. How much medicine knowledge?
3 dots.
Okay, you make almost no failures on like handing him the right instruments, so you'll get almost all of them correct then. Eventually, the operation wraps its way up, and Dr. Thorne bandages the cleaned and stitched injury and passes along a few pills of a medication that probably requires a prescription, but you don't see any being written down. The only other occupant of the room, a slightly older but still young man who's been standing impatiently, worryingly in the corner, sighs with relief and starts helping the patient hobble back upstairs, but not before passing a crumpled brown bag to your sire that you assume has payment of some kind. Well, that was exciting. I've never seen a bullet lodge that deeply up someone's buttocks and remain relatively non-threatening. I do hope that young man understands that if he's going to seduce a spoken-for woman, it would be best to wait until her man is not at home. He's lucky none of the shots hit their intended target.
Yeah, he's very lucky.
In any event, as an aside to our previous conversation, take this. As he turns around, he reveals he's holding 2 brand new Nokia phones, aka the Brick of Death. I had these procured during the day. I'm well aware that you may already have one, but these 2 each only have the other's number on them. In the event of a true emergency, and especially if your curiosity gets the best of you and you decide to experiment on things without my supervision, a glance in the direction of the stocked morgue renders clear what sort of experiment he means, then do not hesitate to contact me. I will do all in my power to ensure you do not have to go through what I did. Even if it involves something else, I will always have ways to keep you safe in the event you do something truly foolhardy. Or if you just turn out to be very, very unlucky. Never forget that I am always in your camp, child.
Ashley will take one of the phones and nod. I definitely need somebody in my camp. Not used to that.
Well, I'm your number one, what's...
Fan?
Child, what is the word for the term used for those, scantily clad scarlet women that cheer on, athletic teams?
Cheerleader.
Yes, that. I'm your number one cheerleader, or fanatic, I believe. Whichever one of those is more appropriate, I am not the best at the modern lingo on these things. I do apologize.
We can take fanatic. I don't really want to imagine you in a cheerleader outfit.
That's probably for the best. I don't think I've ever seen a man in one of those, and it's a get-up similar to that. That's probably for the best, yes. A phone rings, though the sound is muffled, clearly coming from upstairs. Afterwards, the voice of Alice Crosswell, your sire's night ghoul, bellows down the stairs. Boss! Mr. Steele's secretary called. Apparently some big meeting with Mr. Woods is starting soon. Thorn grimaces. Well, I suppose our time is being cut somewhat short. Let's go get cleaned up. Word of advice, dear. Never show up at the prince's summons unfilthy. I'm filthy, sorry. Out of character, remind me who Lillian is?
Part of the herd.
Right. Heard. Sorry, I just got done making a whole bunch of new names and characters, man. My brain's frazzled.
Yeah, all right.
So I apologize for that. But good to know, good to know. Let's see. And finally, we find ourselves back in the sewers, or more specifically, in a select section of it. After an interesting early evening of errands with Lynette, Pius, you find yourself back in her part of the sewers unloading bodies. The decayed ones of the recently buried, and then unburied, find their way to her ritual room, and the other 2 fresh bodies to her pantry, where she efficiently begins stripping them free of anything they were wearing, and rubbing a strange elixir into their flesh. From previous conversations, you know this to be the cause of the same sheen that covers the other corpses she keeps here. Some sort of ritual oil to keep her food fresh. If that previous conversation is to be believed, then it can cause them to stay as they are for thousands of years if left untouched.
And that's that. Isn't that fat that she was talking about?
No, that was for the Hand of Glory. Something entirely different. How is Pius feeling about recent things?
He's uneasy, but he's not really bothered by it. It's just more like a new thing that he hasn't really had to like
Mhm.
do himself. He's always seen things like that. He's never had to do things like that though.
What's more uneasy, that you did it or that you don't feel guilty about it?
Probably a little bit of both. He's like, didn't bother him like he thought it would, and at the same time, like just the feeling of the snap and all that really like made him like cringe. It
It
was
was
more of
so
like
much. Mhm.
just like a ew kind of thing.
Mm.
Like, that was gross.
Hmm. Before you can really get into a conversation, either internally with yourself or with Lynette, a light jingling noise rings thrice, then twice, then thrice again. It's a handy little bell system set up to call for Lynette if the individual doesn't necessarily have one of those handy dandy silver bracelets like you do. Pausing in her rub down of the corpses with their oil, Lynette will turn and look over at you, and then look in the direction of the hallway that you know is filled with undead guardians on either side. Well, shall we?
We expecting company?
No, but that's what that system is for.
Okay, lead the way.
Both of you head down the corridor and emerge on the far side of the long, thin hallway with the dimly glimmering eyes just steadily staring at you the entire time.
These coming from the zombies?
Yep.
Okay.
So once you get to the other side and the door is open, on the other side of the door is Cassandra. Oh,
Cassandra.
oh, darling, good to see you. You're looking well. And you too, dear, she adds for Lynette. I'm afraid I must pull you two apart for now. Pious, as we need to go get ready. Dominic's brought word that Prince Woods is assembling the court tonight, and time is wasting.
Ugh. Okay.
I suppose I will leave you to your princely endeavors, then. That will say, and farewell, as you leave her side for this.
Should I dress in something cool?
Oh, don't worry, darling. We have all manner of garments down here somewhere.
Okay.
I'm sure you can borrow one from someone if you don't have something you like.
Works for me.
Mhm. Indeed, as you follow your sire back through the warrens, you notice several more faces than you're used to seeing at any one time down here. You know, some of them usually keep to themselves, or out and about, or even obfuscate themselves even down here to be on their own lonesome. But it's strange seeing so much in life actively moving about down here.
What's with all the bustle?
Your question is not answered by your sire, but instead by, "Oh, brother! Everyone's getting ready. I don't know exactly why we're being assembled, but good time to look our best, yes?"
Of course, and you always look your best, Belle.
Oh, thank you, Pious. I know I do. I'm awesome and amazing. Hmm,
You
maybe
are.
I also have an awesome and amazing niece or nephew for you by now, but sadly I only just woke up, which means I missed the prince's whole "make a child if you want one" thing.
Oh man, you're gonna have to get on that next time.
Yeah, if there is a next time.
Oh shit.
Of course, if there is a next time, it will probably mean that half of us are dead again. Cassandra gives Belle a look. Now, darling, don't be so pessimistic. I'm sure there'll be a next time. It always comes for one of us. You'll give me a grandchild one of these days, I'm sure. You too, Pious, though presumably a longer ways off, yes?
Sure.
Wonderful. Yes, there are a number of faces that down here that you don't previously remember seeing oftenly active. Let me see. We've got one,
Oh wow, Howl.
Howl, two,
Ugo.
Hugo.
Hugo. You go Gambino, childish Gambino.
3.
Oscar Thatchery Binks.
4.
Oh, she's cool.
They should be also showing you whose child they are in their little descriptor bit.
There's Jax's kid.
Mhm.
Oh, that's Howell's kid. Okay.
Remember, a whole lot of coteries of y'all were made, so I finally got around to filling in the ones that hadn't been filled in yet, and you'll be meeting plenty of them tonight. But yes, the Warrens are finally feeling a bit more lively.
Yes.
You know that, let's see, Oscar in particular almost never comes out of his room except to go hunt. And usually then he just grabs the nearest rat that isn't spoken for and eats it.
Oscar looks awesome.
From the brief times you may have glanced in his room, you know he has some sort of clunky computer set up in there.
Even more interesting.
Is
Running
Pius
the
gonna
brand
break
new-
that one too?
Running the
no.
brand new no. Running the brand new Windows 95 edition.
My people are as much as Pius loves them, he's still very scared of them. They're the most like monstrous ones.
Also, even if Oscar couldn't scratch you, even if he was somehow so weak he couldn't scratch you, you have a feeling that Donovan would come down like a hammer on anyone that brought disruption down here to the peace and the Warrens.
Yes. And there's people controlling zombies, and I just don't want any part of like messing with them.
Everyone's got their own room. They don't mind your business. You don't mind theirs, sort of thing.
Exactly.
I mean,
Just like
aside from your
in the
sister
street.
breaking your door.
Yeah, but she loves me though.
She loves you, and that was probably an accident. She was just excited.
Alvin will understand that soon enough when it comes to Pius. Love comes in many forms.
Oh, undoubtedly. In the meantime, however, we find ourselves back at the bagel. Boop, 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 boop. Where it? Oh, there it is. I really need to name it the Daily Bagel. Instead, on my page screen, it's called the Coffee Shop. So I'm looking for the Daily Bagel, and it's only there under Coffee Shop. In any case, how has Alvin been preparing himself? Is it just dusting off the suit he was previously wearing?
Tidying up, seeing what dinner plans are for later, things of that nature.
Well, something pulls up outside, but it's not the sleek, black, well-maintained limo that your sire uses for public appearances. Nope, it is a bright tie-dye looking motorcycle with 2 occupants that you recognize both of, one more so than the other. Peace shattered perhaps again.
Perhaps.
He loves me.
Yeah.
He at least wears a smile for you.
Smile and maybe it'll stop.
As Elira helps you off the motorcycle, now I gotta go get ready. But I just figured you should probably. I mean, you're looking fine as is, and I imagine all your friends are probably going to be here. So I will see you at the meeting. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Excellent. Have a good time. Ta-ta. Bye.
Bye. Okay. See ya. All right. I didn't even get to lick the bicycle. Jeez. She gone.
She knows, because if you lick the bicycle, it would be yours, and she wants it to stay hers.
Fair. Once Olivia gets her own bicycle, she's gonna lick the hell out of it. Every inch of it.
Alvin's just kind of leaning against the wall of the bagels outside.
Olivia is going to come in.
Yeah, the door's locked. Alvin's outside.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't hear you say outside. What you doing out here, buddy?
Waiting for my ride. About you?
Oh.
I figured you'd be out doing your own thing this evening, considering I said that I was having business today.
Well, I kind of have business with, tonight also. But I got dropped off to check in with you.
I see. So I suppose that Arthur should have to deal with the surprise of an extra companion to take in the limousine. That'll be amusing.
Don't worry, Alvin. Some night I'll have my own vehicle and you'll never have to sit next to me again or have
Oh
me
no,
lick your hand.
absolutely relish the chance for Arthur to have a little taste of the medicine that's been being passed around. I think it'll be
Oh?
absolutely hilarious.
Do you want me to lick him? I'll lick his eyeball.
I wouldn't recommend it, but you do you, Olivia.
No, I probably should stay away from that one. Hey, have you licked anything in the Daily Bagel yet?
Alvin looks at you and just doesn't respond.
I take that as a no, so free game. Got it.
His eyebrow just like raises off of his forehead and levitates upwards.
I could see it.
Olivia, whatever mindset you've got towards the Daily Bagel, I want you to understand that I play by military rules. You lick my shit, and I'm gonna have you shining boots.
Licking on shit.
I don't have to lick your boots with, shoe polish, right?
It means I'm gonna have you clean that place top to bottom. Have you ever been to a
Oh,
military establishment?
no. And if I can't lick things, I don't want to.
Very well then. I just want you to know the consequences, that's all. But you're more than welcome to try. He gives you a smile.
Well, what you don't know won't hurt.
You know, that is a saying I've heard going around. You're not too wrong. Drill sergeant would get pissed at us when he found out that we were cutting curfew just to go throw a couple extra darts at the bar.
Ooh, that must have been fun.
Yeah, it was. Did you want
So-
a coffee for the road?
Nah. Nah. I'm okay. I still have the taste of ash in my mouth from earlier.
Alright. I
Thank you,
figured I'd
though.
ask. I'm just waiting for my own sire to arrive with Anthony driving the limo tonight. It seems that we're heading out towards the prince.
Anthony? Ugh, fine. I'll deal with
Yes.
it.
Ah, yes, the guy that called you crazy girl
Yeah.
and made some pretty straightforward comments about you don't stick in your dick in crazy.
Yeah, she's not very fond of him. Fine, I'll just wait here. And Olivia's just gonna lean up against the wall and whistle to herself.
As your conversation draws to a close, both of you hear a blood-chilling scream coming from somewhere nearby, but the muffling makes it sound like it's coming from behind the bagel. It only lasts a few moments before being sharply cut off.
Alvin will
Olivia.
head to investigate.
Oh, I'm going with Alan.
A quick dash through the around and behind the business to the alleyway that runs along behind the businesses.
Alvin has his hand on his concealed pistol.
Olivia's mimicking him. She
You
doesn't have
see
she's just mimicking the movements.
you see a woman pressed up against a wall, a pale hand clutching firmly around her mouth to muffle any continued screaming, and a man who's very much digging into her throat, wearing a leather jacket of some variety with a fluff around the edges.
Is it somebody that I recognize?
You don't see their face immediately, but they hear you a few seconds after you see them. And though the blood dripping down their chin is brand new, You do actually recognize them.
Ooh.
Hey, what the? You don't want to come any closer. I'm telling you, you don't want to get involved in the fuck? Alvin, that you? You're dead. And you recognize this guy as Rocco, one of your Air Force buddies from back in the day.
Do I
Nice.
recognize the woman?
Not at all.
But I recognize the fact that she's been kissed.
Kissed, yes, in the sense that he was feeding from her.
Yeah.
And it was very much not a pleasurable experience, considering the fact she was screaming.
Ooh.
I don't like
And
that.
that's not a normal thing for you, any of you. Normally, the kiss is quite pleasurable for both the kisser and the kissee.
Ew.
Does she look like she's out of sorts now, or does she look like she's still
Yeah,
cognizant?
she's not really squirming so much anymore. So you imagine she probably passed out from the pain, perhaps, and probably along with the lightheadedness of however much blood he consumed. She's not dead, and
No, because clearly we interrupted it just as it began, so he hasn't really had the chance to like drain her per se.
fuck it. One moment. And quickly turning back to her neck, he doesn't continue feeding, but instead licks the wound closed. Fuck. Okay, well. Okay, well, I know what to do here. So, I don't suppose you faked your death there, buddy?
I don't suppose that you know the etiquette about these kind of circumstances, do you?
Etiquette? Okay, shoot,
Rocco, I'm gonna say this. Put her down. Act like nothing happened. Let's go inside and have a quick chat before my ride gets here.
okay, shoot. Just to be on the up and up, because keep in mind, I believe you have flush of health or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So you very much still look like human normal.
Yeah.
And Rocco definitely doesn't have that. You mind
I'll
just
ask you this. Who embraced you?
Okay, that answers a lot. Okay, don't you worry about the whole big masquerade thing. Let's just say it's distant family and leave it at that. For right now anyway. But shoot, man, I thought you were dead. Like dead, not like this dead. I mean, that car crash was hella convincing.
Rocco, stop talking. Drop her. Let's go inside. This is not the place.
Fine. And he will somewhat gently put the woman down on the ground against the alleyway wall where she can come to on her own at some point. I feel I'm getting chewed out for something. Sheesh.
Hey, Alvin.
Yes, Olivia.
She's not gonna get hypothermia or anything, right? Like, it's rainy and cold out.
Fair enough.
2 minutes rain never hurt anybody. Fine.
Alvin
He
will
picked.
approach and pick her up.
Sheesh.
I'll leave her in front of the nail salon so that way, there's still some coverage and she can feel like she passed out from a little bit too much drinking. Kind of pulls out a small whiskey flask and, presses it a little bit against like her lips and a little bit of, along the chin, so it kind of smells like she's been drinking.
I guess. Okay.
Casey doesn't like getting wet, so she tends to make sure that there's an awning over her front entrance. She'll be fine there.
I
Do you have
like
a
those little details. Nice.
do you have a blanket or something we can at least wrap her in?
Yeah, we could do that.
Well, while you talk to Rocco, if you give me the blanket, I'll go wrap her and take care of her a little bit, and then I'll hop back over.
Sure. Thanks, Olivia. Blankets are in the closet.
Okay. And Olivia's gonna go get the blanket and then do that, and then she'll be back whenever Andrew wants to re-enter her.
Sure. Keep in mind you're voluntarily leaving. I'm not forcing you.
No, I know.
Rocco, Olivia, and Alvin can all enter the bagel so Olivia can get her materials and Rocco can take a seat for the moment.
Man, when did you become a drill sergeant?
When I got a second drill sergeant that I didn't ask for.
Your man a hard ass too?
Yeah. So what's new with you, considering that he just kind of gestures?
Now this, about 6 months after you died, and he will absolutely major finger quote that, I got wrapped up in, I guess, the same business you did. Sort of.
Then let me ask you this. How much have you been told since your induction into this exclusive little club?
What, you mean between between all the constant disappointed speeches? Quite a bit, actually.
All right,
Very
let
common.
me lay this out for you. Are you a part of the Camarilla, or are you an anarch? Or worse, are you Sabbat?
Well, that's easy. None of the above.
Really?
Mhm.
So you're
Clan
on.
Giovanni, actually. Independent. We do have a sort of kind of peace treaty agreement thing with the Camarilla. According to my sire, it's we come to help each other anytime there's Sabbat activity attacking one or the other. It's kind of like a joint defense treaty, I guess, in a way.
All right.
But otherwise, we get a sort of pass or general cold welcome of some kind whenever we're in town, if it's not our town, sort of thing. Yeah. Apparently, I need to. Well, it comes with a whole bunch of problems, though. I
The
don't know
screaming
what.
embraced kisses?
Yeah, basically that. That's probably one of the most obvious ones. Yeah. See, y'all get lucky. Y'all get to have nice, willing victims, or victims that quickly become willing once you sink your pretty little pearly whites into them. But us, no, they're squirming, screaming, kicking up a fuss. That's why I normally feed from bags. But my sire says that's a wimp's move, and besides, we didn't have any on hand when we had to get ready because tonight was the perfect night to make my introduction, so to speak. Because even if we're not part of the Camarilla, you still got to follow the whole introduce yourself before thine elder to get clearance to be in their territory.
So you're heading to the princess tonight as well?
Along with my sire, yeah. So who
Alright.
picked you up anyway? I mean, I've given you my spiel. What about yours?
Then true.
Ah, how far up your backside did they shove that rod?
Let's just say that, just like back in the days, I'm good at following instructions, but I'm also good at keeping what I want.
That tells me everything and nothing.
He extends a hand out to him.
Rocco will take it. I
Alan's
guess.
gonna pull him up and give him a hug. Thank God,
Oh,
there's a familiar
after
face.
a moment, he will return it. Yeah. Sure. Glad to see you're still technically alive, or among the living, buddy.
Ugh,
Shoot, wait. Does your sister know?
no, not at all. I've been keeping an
Okay.
eye on her, but she's been finishing up school at the university.
Okay, well, that's a little bit of a relief. You know, when I heard we were coming here to Seattle, and I remember she was going to school here, I figured I'd keep an eye on her, but good to know you're already doing that.
Yeah, she's already had a couple dances with danger, and it's like keeping a dog from walking into the street sometimes.
She's all right now, though, right? I
Yeah.
mean,
As far as I'm aware, and as far as the friends that she keep an eye on her.
Okay, well, I'm glad to know you got that covered.
I can always use extra eyes, I'm not gonna lie. It's tough not being able to directly just tell her, hey, don't go do this, because it's a terrible idea.
And you can't exactly tell her directly because you're dead.
Right.
And I'm dead too. So, you know,
But does she know you're dead?
I mean, I sent a few letters to her after your whole death, trying to, keep her spirits up, sort of thing, because she was the one you were always going on about whenever we were together. So, whatnot. But then I died, and she had a second funeral to go to in 6 months.
Ah, so she knows. Shit. Alright.
Sorry, I couldn't help you in that way.
I get it, man. I do.
I-
We don't exactly get choices that we like when this shit kind of happens. And they've had me holed up for about 5 years, so.
I was stuck spending 4 years back east, bowing and kowtowing to literally everyone else that's not alive in the mansion I was staying at. You might think, ooh, mansion, you had it well, but no, I got basically just above servant status.
That sounds like shit.
Yeah, it is. Especially when the sire makes it clear to you you were always his second choice.
That's also shit. Like, what the hell?
Yep, well, that's just the way it rolls. Basically, it's like, I mean, like, I don't know how much you know about Clan Giovanni, but it's some pretty fucked up shit, right? I'm not just talking about the whole fangs and the squirming, screaming victims like shit. I'm talking like really fucked up shit. Like, most of the family, at least most of the main branch of the family, is inbred as all hell. This is the starter bit of it. I mean, like, your worth is measured by how much of the family blood and how much of which family blood you got in you. Me, I'm like the bastard love child of a bastard love child, so I got barely any.
I see. That is. Wow. You really did get the shit under the stick, didn't you?
Mm-hmm. I'm lucky I'm even related to the main branch at all. I mean, if I was related to one of these splinter branches and had that kind of connection, I'd probably just be dead.
Well, all things considered, I am happy to see you. That being said, I would ask that you not try to pull your feeding grounds in this area. Might draw some unwanted attention to you, as I'm about to get somewhat of a community watch going.
Yeah, right. Anyone? I mean, I don't exactly have the latest updates on who's where, but any domain I need to know about?
This is mine.
Like, how much? The store or the entire freaking street?
Not the entire street, but I'm hoping to extend it that far. My point more so is there's a lot of mortals here who are a little on edge. And while you might have one for supper, there are 3 or 4 that might catch you in the midst of the act. Screaming women kind of draw attention from tenants up in the apartments above. This entire street's littered with them.
Even as you're having this conversation, you can hear a distant siren seeming to get closer. Ah, fuck. I'm sorry for the problems, buddy. But
Look.
hey, good news. You're still unalive.
Yeah.
In any case, it was nice to get to chat with you, but shit, I really need to get going. I gotta meet up with my sire before we head to the whole big shindig.
All right. We'll catch you later, Rocco. We can, you allowed at Elysium?
Yeah, we're allowed. I mean, we're not Sabat, and heck, even the Anarchs are allowed at Elysium as long as they mind their manners.
Fair enough. Maybe I'll catch you there.
Probably see each other tonight too, actually, but I doubt we'll have a chance to talk.
Right.
So at Elysium then.
He nods. Kind of peeks out the front door to see how Olivia and the assailed woman are doing.
Olivia had already wrapped the blanket around her and stuff like that, and is kind of just kneeling down and just making sure she's okay. She's kind of worried about her.
She doesn't seem to be any worse for the wear than your normal feeding victims are. Probably even better considering that there's probably less blood taken from her than you normally take from yours because the feeding was interrupted. But you definitely hear those sirens getting closer. Do you want to be found next to this woman? And
No,
get boggled down in like an hour of police reports.
no. Upon hearing the sirens and stuff like that, Olivia will know they're on their way to discover her anyway, so she is going to hop back over to the Daily Bagel.
Wonderful.
Rocco, you may want to take the sewers at least a block or two down so you're not seen leaving the bagel.
You got an entrance in your basement or something?
Yep.
All right, don't mind if I do. Sorry again about the inconvenience. Hope it's... Yeah, fuck it, I'll make it up to you at Elysium or something.
Alvin will lead him and show him down and, unlock the padlock he's added.
Was that added before or after Pius kicked it into the opposing wall?
After. I can't have him pissing off Joshua every other week.
Try every other night.
Pius doesn't know his own strength. He really doesn't. He's just,
Yeah, especially since he has basically one dot of it as his base physical stat, but he's just not used to having the whole Nosferatu potence supernaturally charge that. He went from being a weak wimp to something having supernatural strength, even if it's only in basic amounts. In any case, Rocco will show himself out through the sewers. Which brings us to, let's see, that was... I believe that brings us back to Ashley, actually. Sorry that it dragged on so long. But Ashley, you and Dr. Thorne will find yourselves back in the Chantry, which is also a hub of activity as people are getting ready. People dashing back and forth, some of them only half dressed, others fully dressed, but, all in some endeavor of getting themselves suitable for an appearance at the assembly.
Jeez, everyone's
In
pretty
fact,
busy today.
Indeed. Mainly probably because the assembly came on such short notice. Normally there is at least a few hours between its announcement and being assembled, but here you're being given very little time. And Anthony Steele, your regent, is determined not to let anyone, no matter who, screw over the reputation of the Tremere in the city, which means everyone's getting ready. Even Tobias, who normally doesn't go out too much. Fortunately, he already has suits. Otherwise, it would be very difficult for a child his parent age to get ready for such an endeavor. One of these days, I'm going to need to update my wardrobe. This one's 20 years old. Do you think it looks okay?
Absolutely. I think you look perfectly fine.
Now, perfectly fine would be me, but with like another 4 physical years added on at least. But I make do, as always. He looks you up and down. Is that what you're wearing? I don't have any problems against it, but Regent Steel might want you in something fancier.
Oh no, I'm gonna go get my formal attire on. I just returned.
Right. Not to be a mother hen, just Steel's on edge tonight.
It's appreciated.
Yeah. And when the boss is coming, look busy, I believe is the phrase. As he says that, his eyes perk up over your shoulder, and he looks much more busy in patting himself down. And Anthony Steele walks right on by you at a fast pace. He does, however, glance at you, but presumably, since you just got here, you have time to change.
Yep, and that's exactly what she's gonna do. She's gonna run off to her room and get ready.
What does Ashley in formal attire look like, anyway?
She actually would be wearing a pantsuit.
I called it.
I figured it'd be a
Let the dog
pantsuit.
out.
Uh-huh.
I figured it would be a pantsuit, but I mean, like, hey, maybe she'll wear a skirt. Probably not, though.
Nope. Nope.
My mindset was like, with a moment you asked, that was power suit.
Yep. She would wear pantsuit.
Wonderful, then. One moment, though. But now I have the urge to look up something. Boop.
While you're doing that, I'm gonna go grab a soda. Do you want one, babe?
I think David's letting
I
the dog
would
out. So.
love one.
I'm gonna get a refill on water while you're doing that. That sounds like a lovely time to get a refill on water. Drink break, everyone.
Okay.
Yep.
Invent your own blood magic or ritual.
That looks awesome.
That was my
That
inspiration.
does look nice.
I felt it was very Tremere.
Nice. It does look very nice.
Yes, it fits the time frame too. Like, it's not too elaborate, but it's also very like sleek.
It's classic.
Now I just need like a little tie pin of the Clan Tremere emblem. But in any case, that is for another time. You are getting ready. I believe there's only one other person that needs to get ready. Pius. Amidst the hubbub of activity down here in the warrens and the sewers and people running to and fro, most of them actually visible for once. What does Pius do to go about getting ready for whatever this is?
He would first just kind of stare at everyone that's doing their thing, tally up who's all there, and then he would go off to find his own attire for the event.
Wonderful.
I don't know, probably like if he could find some type of like nice leather jacket or something.
Something that's not too rotten or worn down, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
You doubt people have the highest of standards for the Nosferatu, but no need to lower them any more than they already are.
I agree.
If anything, though, it's a shame that you didn't have more time to play with your clocks tonight, or ask Lynette more questions.
All in due time.
Donovan is making the rounds, checking in on each and every person here. But he eventually makes his way over to you. Hey, kid, how's it going? Just about ready?
Yeah. Not really fond of going to all this fancy shit, but whatever. We gotta do what we gotta do.
Yep. When the big man calls, best not to screw it up.
From what I've heard.
That's a good way to have him sick, ol' Victor down your butt. If you haven't had a chance to see Victor do his stuff, but I have, kid. I have. I got a good long look during some of them fights last time Sabat were here.
Take it he knows his stuff.
He's a monster, kid. And that's saying something coming from a monster.
Cassandra go?
Presumably to check on your sister. And herself. She takes a while getting ready.
Well, I mean,
Which
especially
is
this hotel.
nothing new because, it's just... I'm not sure if you noticed this when you were still alive, kiddo, but nothing's changed in the ladies getting ready department.
Well, that's good to know.
Well,
Probably
I
has to
see her
look around
already.
for Jax, and he doesn't seem to see him anywhere.
Nope. But you can probably find him if you really want to.
True,
You
but
get-
if he's not in the crowd, I'm not going to go out and bother him. He could be up to something.
He's probably in one of his own rooms somewhere getting ready. I mean, he's got an oddly disproportional torso, so
Yes,
probably
he
hard to
does.
find a way to fit in something. I mean, have you ever seen them try to fit like a professional bodybuilder in a suit?
No. I can
Man,
imagine it's tough.
they look so weird just because there's so much fabric involved. It's hard to make a bodybuilder in a suit look good. He just looks weird. I remember there being a picture my other storyteller once used for something to describe this. Where is it? Just scroll up, scroll up, scroll up, scroll up, scroll up, scroll up, scroll up. I'll give up in a moment, but for now I haven't given up. Oh well, I give up. I was gonna find it, but I guess not. I guess not. Yeah, it just looks really weird. You should look it up sometime though, because it's just wow. This doesn't look normal. It just doesn't look right. Well, anyway, we should all be getting ready to leave in like 50, honestly 5 minutes, but it's probably gonna take me another 10 just to round up all the ladies. And then we're going to be beginning our long jog down the sewers. A nice family fun activity. Fuck yes. You can hear his sarcasm just dripping from that.
Sounds like fun.
Oh, and remember, not a word about our guest, right?
Sure. What guest?
Keep it that way, kiddo. Keep it that way.
Is Lynette being hunted?
Are you asking that in character or out of character?
Out of character.
Part of her staying here with the Nosferatu is staying here secretly with the Nosferatu.
Mm-hmm.
Think about it. The Nagaraja don't just drink a little blood here and there. They eat people. Think about that in terms of the masquerade.
True.
They aren't generally welcome and are generally hunted whenever they are found, usually.
Interesting.
I mean, why do you think what's her name was living in the basement of an abandoned hospital in the game?
True.
What was her name? With a P. I don't know. Well, at least the one she has.
In Bloodlines?
Yeah.
I can't recall the name. I know who you're talking about though, because I remember that whole bit with the hospital and shit. It's been so long since I played Bloodlines.
No, I know what you're downloading tonight. Excellent. But I believe that brings us back to unless you have another question, we're going to go ahead back to Alvin and the others who are waiting at the bagel.
No, you can proceed forward.
Excellent. Sorry if it's a little uneven tonight, fellas. But back at the bagel, Rocco has made his appearance, and the police have arrived outside. They're not on your side of the street, just on the other side of the street, along with an ambulance that's quickly called in. But it doesn't seem like there's anything crucial is actually going on. Though you get the feeling that your sire is going to have some questions here in a bit when he pulls up. Not about your extra guest.
Olivia's just watching outside the window while they wait for
Is
Alvin's
she watching
sire.
normally, or is her face planted against the glass?
You're watching normally on this note. She doesn't want to draw attention to herself.
What's going through your head, Olivia?
Huh?
What's going through your head?
Oh, nothing. I'm just making sure they take care of her and get her into the ambulance. That's all. You know, we were once human too.
I do know that. I know that quite a bit.
There's no need to be cruel.
No. No, there isn't. In fact, I still actually quite envy mortals.
How long have you been a vampire?
This is my 5th year.
Does time feel like it's slower or dragging?
Sometimes it's a bit painfully slow. My sire had instructions to give me, and there are some days that, well, while I'm good at making sure to keep to an assignment, there were some days that I had to rush it like a cram session before a test for class the next day. Things really drag when there isn't much else going on. Sure, there are always movies or different things going on, but when you're limited in contact with people, undead or mortal, who you are and where you are slowly become nebulous concepts.
Does that mean I'll never be able to see my family again?
Not in the same way. I mean, you've met my sister, and while I am not able to directly speak with her, I can at least watch from afar and make sure that she's okay. Haven't seen my folks in all that time, and everyone who I used to know believed me dead. Rocco actually used to be part of my unit back when we were enlisted together. We never actually saw deployment, but he's a close buddy of mine, so I'm actually a little happy to see him despite circumstances as they are. It can get lonely, Olivia. So when I see you and Lyra driving around, and you at least enjoying some of your time, it does bring a smile to my face.
I just want to wake up.
Me too.
Olivia just kind of turns back to the window, kind of lost in her own thoughts.
Turning back to the window, you can see the woman being hoisted into the ambulance. And the ambulance takes off right around the same time as a black limo pulls up outside the bagel.
Olivia smashes her face against the window, be like, "He's here!"
Yeah. Let's head on up to meet him.
She like slides her face across the window as she's going towards the door, and then finally pushes herself again, pushes herself off of it, and then exits the door.
Like what, a puppy?
Alvin is sure to lock the door behind him and make his way over towards the limousine.
Standing in the light drizzle of the rain, holding the passenger door open for the back, is the familiar face of Anthony Bell, your movie buddy, as it were, and your sire's ghoul.
Olivia just
Hey,
crushed.
kid, how you doing?
Oh, sorry.
Doing all right.
Sorry, now.
Lyra dropped young Olivia off here. And it seems that she's in need of a ride to the procession. Think we are able to oblige her. He kind of looks to Anthony and then looks to Arthur.
Arthur, who is visible and who kind of pokes his head halfway out, glances at Olivia. And while he is clearly a little caught off guard by this, he recovers very quickly. But you get the sense he's used to that. Ah, yes, Lyra. She's always wanted to bounce around like that. Yes, hop right in. Hop right in.
Alvin
She-
nods.
She slides right in without even acknowledging Anthony, but she acknowledges Arthur by greeting him and asking how he's doing tonight.
Fabulously, my dear. Fabulously.
Alvin pats Anthony on the shoulder and gets into the limo.
Anthony just kind of nods and closes the door behind you before returning around to the driver's seat. Now then, what have you been up to this evening, my good child?
Plans for the future. That's all, really. Just getting the community together and trying to make business a little more prosperous for everyone.
Getting everyone on your side, or at least believing themselves to be on your side, is a great first step. Too many others. And you, I believe Olivia is your name. What have you been up to this evening?
I got a motorcycle, and I can't wait till I get it.
Alvin just kind of looks at her with wide eyes and imagines her driving on a motorcycle. Then remembers she drove a motorcycle to the Stormer's Den.
I'm excited.
Right. I've never really felt the appeal of myself, but I suppose it will be enjoyable to have your own wheels, yes?
Oh yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, cars are great, shield you from the rain and getting bugs in your teeth and, stuff in your eye, but to feel that wind rushing through your whole soul, I love it.
I did once own a pair of fine convertibles back in the day. Technically, I still own them, mind you, but I haven't had much cause to use them since I came to Seattle.
Ooh, what
For
type?
understandable reasons. And he looks up at the, he looks basically up through the ceiling to the rain that's usually constantly coming down around here.
Oh, yeah.
Hmm.
Sorry.
Oh, not at all. You're fine. Hey, wait, was that in character or was that out of character?
That was out of character. I'm coughing. Sorry.
Oh, are you fine? You sick? You
No, I'm fine, and I just still have a cough from being having that cold.
post-nasal drip? Yeah, I'm familiar
Yeah.
with it. Nasty stuff. That.
Oh yeah.
In any case, child, I doubt it'll be much longer now before you have completed your task with me. Have you been putting any thought towards what sort of reward you would like the form you might like your reward to take?
Alvin just kind of shrugs. Been a little too focused to say that I have. Really hadn't even thought that there was a reward to it, although I know that you mentioned it before. Must have slipped my mind.
Ah, you're just focused is all, my boy. A good thing to have. Good thing to be. Well, in case you have forgotten, I will go ahead and remind you, but it's going to be a bit before we arrive at the prince's anyway. Your reward, should you succeed in turning your coffee shop around into becoming a stable and indeed thriving business, in the heart of its worst possible competition state of competition, that it being a coffee shop in the middle of the Seattle's University District. So, is my aid in expanding one of your business endeavors. Whether that's starting a new endeavor of some variety or somehow continuing your current one. Perhaps you want to get into warehousing down by the docks or make some inroads along, some more less than legal avenues. It's all the same to me, boy.
Alvin simply smirks. And I think for the first time, Olivia sees almost a devious streak in his, like, face.
Hmm. She pokes his face a little bit, like, I see something.
He
To
looks over
boil
to
it down-
Olivia. He looks over at Olivia and is like, never you worry. I'll keep that in mind. I have a couple ideas going forward, but we'll see which avenue I want to run through first.
Yeah, to absolutely simplify it out of character, it's either he'll help you start get a new business branch or something like that going, or find some way that would normally be perhaps a bit out of your current price range to expand your current business model.
It's very simple. I think Alvin would probably ask in order to buy out the Stormer's Den.
But is he actually asking for that now, or is he just like thinking that?
Oh no, that's the thought in his head. He has not actually like broached
Yeah.
that subject.
It's technically a simple reward, but it's a big simple, if you get my meaning.
Mm-hmm. I've already got to look at their finances, so I think that Alvin might be able to even pitch exactly how much that establishment might be worth based off of a couple years of tax documentation. Not including their illegal ventures.
How would you work on getting them to sell to you? Or them to come under you in that general thing? I mean, you've got like all the social superpowers.
It's very simple. They can continue what they're doing. It's just that they've got a new overhead that they can lean on in the event that things go wrong. A new overboss, so to speak.
Yep.
I don't mind them doing what they do. It's just more of a protective layer for, in the event that someone else steps in to try to get them to do shit that they shouldn't be doing.
Also, it gives you some boys when you have a problem that needs boys being tossed at it.
Mm-hmm. And if they are in fact being bought up and brought under wing, then that means that they're technically being paid off already. I own their establishment, and they're being paid to continue to do what they're already doing. A monetary value that Hammer didn't get in his initial dealings, but could get in the future. Something I'm sure he'd be more amenable to.
Indeed.
That said, we can carry on.
Let me double check something in my notes, but we should be good to go. A moment.
Because Alvin absolutely does not want Arthur and his nose in the internet cafe business.
Seems oddly pointed, yes. In any case, it's time for us to finally move the scene to where everyone is meeting up at. As soon as we stop sticking to my cursor. Where's the banner? There's the banner. And there is... We will reconvene at the Prince's Court, a converted hotel ballroom that usually has chairs, tables, and the like around the edges, and in one particularly luxurious corner, the couch and chairs where the prince usually finds himself sitting, at least for the moment.
What's the most expensive item in the room?
Nothing.
Do you have finance or something that allows you to appraise items?
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure Olivia does not. She has investigation, occult, drive, etiquette, firearms, larceny, performance, stealth, survival.
And then in that case, I shall answer you that the shiniest object are the chandeliers.
Oh god, how am I gonna lick those?
Well, you asked. In any case,
Alvin, on the other hand, knows.
You all arrive roughly within 5 minutes of each other, and like your first time here, all gathered here at the start of this campaign, the room is very full. Only now I have more faces to throw at you, and so I shall commence with the throwing, because they need to be revealed to you, and this is easier than editing them individually.
Here it comes.
So any face I don't show to you but that's part of the Camarilla or even the Anarchs, assume it's here. I just don't want to need to necessarily show you what you've already seen and have revealed to you. So, oop. 1,
Bruja.
2,
Oh wow, she looks like that one
3.
actress from The Craft with the scary big mouth.
Oh yeah. Frieza
4,
Volker, however you say your name.
Yeah.
Feruza. God
5,
damn it, I wish I'd stop coughing.
6,
Hey, what's going on, man?
Ooh,
7.
I want
That's
to
the
lick
most
his.
normal, like Jesus cult looking vampire out of all of them.
Wait,
I lick his
who?
spade?
PJ Hickerson?
David.
Well, that is the certain hippie gangrel that was mentioned to Alvin already. Hmm. Oh, yes. Also, note the last one.
Oh, Ezreal looks cool.
Mhm.
Deceased, final death. Child of Luke.
And pseudo adopted child of Waif. She's been his mother hen in the absence of his sire. But
So
you don't
he's in his
necessarily know
final
that.
death?
No, his sire is has died.
Okay.
His sire is dead. Hmm. Wait, I lost count. How many new people is
Oh,
there
she's
so
pretty.
far? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10,
Beep, beep with a beep, beep and a boop.
11.
Beep and a boop and a beep, beep, boop.
Did that
I
just say
already.
she was the child of Dr. Appendicitis?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Of course he went for a
The guy that we
nurse.
played pool with.
Of course he would go for a blonde nurse.
The
Oh.
Nosferatu people I already showed you all earlier. So I'm not going to click on them all again. You can kind of see them in the folders on the various journal sides.
Ooh.
Bias would glance over at you guys and give you a little peace sign.
Olivia does the whole like peace sign like to him. Like you know how the damn cutesy girls on the internet do it, like where they put it on the side of their eyes, a
Yeah.
double peace sign. She does that to him with a big smile.
Konnichiwa!
Konnichiwa, Pius.
That is very much not mainstream yet, considering the whole anime age in America hasn't taken off yet.
No. It just began.
Yeah, at this point,
Dragon Ball just became like the breakthrough, and
yeah, but at this point, it's still very weird because I mean, most people that have watched it here have still only watched it in the dub, not the sub.
True.
Any subtitles you see over here are still the whole fan drawn ones that get put in.
I miss those days.
Wait, I'm not showing him because he's dead. That's right. I need to make a file for the final dead people. In any case, there are your. Or wait. What am I? I think we also about. Oh right, yeah, there are a couple of new anarch. Or there's at least one new anarch, right? Oop.
Oh,
And
she's cool.
let's see. Indeed.
Take a gander here. Oh yeah.
And let us see. Also standing in a corner, at least Alvin particularly will notice this because he's the guy Rocco is standing next to.
Rocco's modern life.
I was just thinking about that.
Life. I loved the Ed and his wife, the big heads.
Yeah.
Their son, the narrator, and the animator. They
Oh,
were funny.
he's a
Wait.
Giovanni?
Is Paul Remond here?
Yes, he is.
I like his golden eye. I want to
Because,
lick
like it
that.
or not, even if they don't like it, the Anarchs are still largely treated as if they were Camarilla, even though they're not in the Camarilla cities. This,
I mean,
they haven't hit the stage of active war with each other that they will in like another couple of decades.
no, that's fine. It's more so like if Alvin catches a glance at him kind of thing, and like there's a reciprocal glance, behind Arthur's, back kind of thing, there will be a nod.
Heck, I mean, even Bruce and Melina are also here. So,
Mhm.
pretty much the whole cast is here, regardless of whether or not they are independent, Anarch or Camarilla.
Fair enough.
It's a full assembly. I just didn't want to click on all the others that have already been revealed. I just wanted to reveal the ones that weren't revealed. But yes, so let's go in reverse order so that the people that haven't been acting recently have a chance to do something if they want. Pius, the room is unbearably full of people. Most of them look better than you.
Pius is just pretty much staring around and more or less focusing on his natural group that he's made, wanting to go over there, but he doesn't know whether he should break his clan's group and venture on over to Elvin and Olivia and them, or not. So he's just kind of being anxious.
I'd also like to apologize for everyone that just had to X through all of those, because I just had to X through them all myself, and that was somewhat annoying. So,
It's okay.
apologies. But hey, look, there is one more here I almost forgot about. So, let me go ahead and... Oh, I forgot to put that in there. Let me put that in there. Details. It's all important about the details. Boop.
Mark
Another one of the...
Flowers.
Mark Flowers, yes. In any case, the room is a positive hubbub of constant conversations. Whether it's kindred or ghoul retainers on one point of the room or another, the room is absolutely full of people. There are tables, mostly with some blood, but there's probably a few non-blood items there for those that wish to splurge on blood in order to enjoy them, though it's kind of frowned upon by most of the older folks. Not that Waif seems to give much of a fuck about what those so-called older folks think, considering they're all children to her.
Yeah, Pius knows he's Nosferatu, and they already look down on him, so he'll indulge on the blood.
Which, oddly enough, brings you into contact with Waif at one of the tables. Oh, hey,
What's
you're
up?
here. What you doing?
Drinking blood. What are you doing?
Wishing there were bagels.
Oh man, right? But you eat so many every time you show up.
She glowers at you, and for a moment you feel terrified.
I don't mean no offense, but like you're just so small and you eat so much. I'm amazed and astounded all at once.
The glower intensifies as you dig yourself deeper.
I'm gonna keep drinking blood now, and he goes back to drinking the blood.
Anyone that chooses to grab a glass of blood, assuming it is of their type, in the case of Venture, in which case it might be hard to find, can probably go ahead and add a blood point. So take a free blood point. And let's see. Ashley, you arrived with the Tremere group, who all came on 2 separate vehicles, I believe. Crammed in as it were.
Oh, Jesus.
But you're here now and no longer in the confining confines of 2 separate vans. And the room you're instead taking from the frying pan and throw into the fire of a very, very crowded room.
There's a lot of people in here.
Your natural introvert wants to crawl up in some sort of cubbyhole and not come out till everyone is gone.
Mhm. She's just gonna start scanning the room, trying to find anybody she recognizes.
Well, obviously, you recognize your fellow Tremere.
Yep.
You recognize a few higher-ranking vampires that were here the night prior. The night last time you were here, anyway. And after a bit of searching, you probably recognize Alvin and Olivia. Probably Olivia first. She has colorful hair.
And Alvin's
Gosh.
headed off in order to find something to drink, but it's probably going to take him a minute.
Indeed, indeed. Olivia, what is Olivia doing right this second?
She's finding something to drink.
Okay, everyone's getting blood then.
Oh yeah, I'm not missing that
Mhm.
opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
If
So
I
go ahead
can't
and add
lick
that.
anything, I'll lick the glass.
No, Alvin's actually feeling a little on the thirsty side.
Indeed. You will eventually, via your innate ventru senses of just knowing which is the right blood, after a sniff, find a glass that has something palatable to your particular vintage preferences.
That'll probably make it easier to do hunting later.
If you're not already starving.
I'm not starving. I'm at that border of half where it's I could drink, but I don't need it yet.
Mm-hmm.
You.
This puts me over half. So it's that, the ledge was starting to get there. If I went another day without hunting or two, then I'd probably be in that starving zone, but I'm at the I could eat right now.
You can
Eat protein
control
bars.
yourself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Important notice. But eventually the hubbub dies down, and at one end of the hall, the ever stoic Prince Woods will stand. There are we. There's my Ventru. As always, the dominating visage of his sheriff stands behind him. I'm glad everyone found it easy enough to gather here tonight. We have a good amount of things to go through. Some of them of varying importance, and one that is absolutely important. After all, the laws and traditions must be upheld. First, I will recognize. I have way too many tabs open. Shit. Lucio of Clan Giovanni. And Lucio will step forward and bow before the prince. Thank you, Prince Woods. Clan Giovanni seeks sanctuary in the city of Seattle for the time being until your displeasure dismisses us. Then do well to ensure that day never comes. Prince Woods will dictate to the Giovanni guest. Who is this you have brought with you? Rocco, far more formally than he was with you, will very stiffly bow, because he is probably still not used to this. Rocco Bellini, Prince. Rocco. Prince has a look of distaste on his features there briefly. Probably not the sort of name he finds at all nice, but it passes very, very quickly. Well, the two of you are more than welcome in my city, especially should old enemies come knocking at our doors again. I trust our treaty will be honored. Of course, Prince Woods. Then enjoy your stay. And the two depart. There are several others that also make an appearance before the prince in the rite of introduction, as is needed and commanded by tradition, if one wishes to stay in a city. But overall, the moment passes rather quickly, and during the end of it somewhere, Victor disappears off through a side door. When he next emerges, let's see, where? Down there? Yes, down there. He is dragging a very familiar staked entity. You should remember him because you're the ones that staked him.
Ugh.
As he is staked right now, his entire mask and guise as Professor Waymayer has completely dissipated. He's just frozen in that sort of manic stare and smile that you had when you staked him.
That's creepy.
I remember one or two of you were able to look through his obfuscate to see that last time, but I don't remember who it was.
It was
But,
me.
yep. But now, there you go. You can all see it. In any case, Wood stands, well, and gestures at the Fordon Butcher. This creature you see before you stands in violation of some of our most important traditions. Not only did they not present themselves, but they were most grievously threatening the masquerade that we all hold dear, that keeps us safe from the innumerable unwashed mortals outside. Embraced without my consent, which is odd considering that I was so generous with my consent in recent years, and his eyes will specifically meet various vampires around the room who are, including your sires, that probably all have child here at the moment. He then proceeded to, from his own notes, kill his sire, the departed Jonas. For those of you wondering where that man is right now. And continued on his killing spree as the serial killer known as the Fordon Butcher. This time, exsanguinating his victims and bringing us all under threat. Any one of these has the penalty of final death. All of them together makes very little difference. Sheriff, proceed with the sentence. Sheriff will approach the staked menace, and perhaps as a bit of a shock, will first pull out the stake, giving the Fordon Butcher the slightest moment of being able to move and maybe even try and make a break for it, but even less than half a second later, his head is completely torn off his shoulders. And the next thing, everything is a fountain of spray of gore and blood around the platform. Retainers, clean this mess up. The rest of you, please return to the festivities. I shall be speaking with some of you very shortly. All that hard work, and it's over in the span of a few seconds. With one fountain of gore sitting on one side of the room that's being mopped and pushed aside by what you assume are ghouls. Pious, just earlier this evening you snapped a man's neck. How does seeing another person die in front of you like that affect you, if at all?
Yeah, he just did that ooh like thing where like he just his shoulders go up and his head dips down, just the ooh.
More the gross factor of the fountain of gore, yes.
Yeah.
How does Ashley feel about that fountain of gore?
She find it quite dramatic, but not that bad.
Olivia, How did Olivia feel as she is licking her glass clean for the 10th time?
That made her stop her licking like mid lick and just like stare in terror like that could have been me.
And Alvin, we come to you. The prince's justice has been done, but it was perhaps a bit showy. What do you think of it?
Alvin doesn't show any signs of outward emotion towards it, more of just a, cold stare towards the presentation. He was fully aware that something along those lines may happen down the line, but being part of the military, I mean, you could get blown up at any point, so the danger of that being a possibility doesn't strike fear for him. If anything, it is more like maybe a pity towards the Fordon Butcher.
Hmm. Which perhaps feels a bit odd, considering he was going to kill your sister.
Oh, yes, but it's not pity for the fact that he was murdered in such a brutal way. It's more of pity that this is where his life led him. This abject obsession.
With killing mortals that he assumed were going to be future vampires, according to his goddess. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, as the show, if it can be called a show, comes to an end, and the blood-drenched victor follows the retainers out of the room, presumably to go clean himself and have a fresh change of clothes. The commode. What's the word I'm looking for? Can't remember. Well, the general noise level of the room eventually picks back up as people slowly but surely go back to their private conversations. And it is not long, presumably, before the four of you end up together at one point of the room or another. Whether that's all by the drinking table, if your appetites haven't been soured, or somewhere else in the room. I imagine Pius.
Alvin would
And
seek out Pius
okay, go ahead.
if he's able to be found.
He absolutely is. You're probably actually see Waif first, but she's walking away from the table, and Pius is somewhere back at the table behind her.
Alvin entirely ignores Waif and just makes his way to Pius.
What's up, man?
Not a whole lot. Haven't seen you around in a couple days.
Yeah, just been up to some stuff.
Everything all right?
Yeah, situating myself down in the Warrens a bit, getting myself more familiar with the ins and outs.
I see. It's rare that we see the Nosferatu clan out and about as they are. Would you be interested in introducing me to your family?
Yeah, they're quite the bunch. Pius would do the little like hand wave and start leading him over towards Cassandra. Cassandra, this is my pal Alvin.
I
Alvin
just
would.
realized I was muted. Sorry,
Yeah.
my bad.
I was kind of waiting. I was like, should I talk? Should she talk?
She's just staring at you.
Yeah, no, my bad. Oh, darling, you're bringing your friends home. Well, not really, and don't do that, by the way. Donovan would be quite upset if you brought someone there. But, oh, it's so good to meet a friend of my dear, dear son's.
Yeah, I kind
Alvin,
of
right?
figured I'd bring him to you and not Donovan.
No,
Be
he wouldn't
interested
mind
in-
meeting them, child. He just minded them if you brought them home.
Okay.
I can understand considering the history. Alvin, Valdrick, nice to meet you.
Well, nice to meet you. Aren't you a fine, upstanding young man? I hope all of your friends are this nice there, Pius.
Oh
I
yeah,
figured it was-
Ashley's quite refined herself, and we have and Olivia.
Ah,
Olivia-
Olivia, that's Lyra's dear daughter, isn't it? Oh, Lyra's such a nice person. Such a nice one. Hmm.
Pius would stretch his neck out and glance over towards Olivia and try and glance towards Ashley and just wave his arms to come towards him.
Bringing the whole crew over.
Hmm.
Whether or not they come or not, it's entirely up to them, however. Olivia, Ashley?
Oh, she's going.
Ashley's gonna just kind of like look at her, like whoever she's talking to, probably Tobias, but just kind of look at him and like, I'll be right back, and just head over there.
Oh, sure, of course. Now which one is which here, darling? I think I know, but I don't want to make the wrong guess.
Let's just say I like to lick stuff to see how it tastes.
Ah, you must be Olivia.
Of course. I knew you'd get it. You're a smart cookie.
I am. It's so good of you to notice. And that makes you Ashley.
Yes,
Let me
ma'am.
see. The Dr. Thorne's child, right?
Yep,
Hmm.
that's correct.
Haven't spent much time with him, but he seems respectable enough. Good. I'm glad to know you're making friends with the right sort of people, Pius.
I thought it prudent to make introductions and say hello. I know that we don't necessarily get to cross the clan lines and speak candidly, so.
Well, part of that's just because you're so young, but yes. You should learn to make contacts and friends with all sorts. Especially us, because we're just the best. I mean, look at me. I'm fabulous.
You're beautiful.
I know, but you can keep saying it as much as you want, darling.
Speaking of beauty, where's Belle?
Oh, where's that girl? Belle, over here. Yes, sweetie, over here.
Oh, Olivia, wait till you meet her.
Ooh.
Before Olivia has a chance to meet Belle, however, she is nearly knocked over as Pius is tackle hugged by the dress-wearing Belle.
I am entirely glad to see that you're being well taken care of, Pius.
Yeah, they're cool.
Pius, brother, how are you? I know we just saw each other literally 20 minutes ago in the sewers, but it's just always so good to see you and see family. Ain't that right,
It
Mom?
is. Every time.
Oh, and who are you?
Wait, to me or who's she
Yeah,
speaking
to you.
To
you.
me? Olivia will steady herself and she'll be like, I'm Olivia. I'm bad at this. My brain's blanking, but she just introduces herself and
She's glancing you up and down. Oh, we need to get you in a dress. You would look absolutely fantastic in a dress.
ooh, you know what? I wouldn't mind.
Excellent. We should have like some sort of party sometime. But I'll have to wait. And you are? She'll be looking at Ashley this time.
I'm Ashley. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. And you. Oh, and you. And she will sidle on up to Alvin and put her arms around Alvin's shoulders like he's just the hottest thing in the room. And you are handsome?
The name is Alvin Valdry.
Alvin Valdry. That sounds fancy. Are you fancy?
Not quite. I'm actually a bit more down to earth, but thanks.
That's fine. Down to earth is fine too. It means more and more parties.
Alvin owns a bagel shop.
Ooh, a bagel shop.
It's more of a coffee establishment, but yes, we do in fact sell bagels.
Sounds fun. You up to fun there?
I'm hoping to have more fun there. Got some things in the works, but we'll see. This night's not about me. Just shaking hands, meeting people, making sure that my friends here are Well
Over the
cared
course of
for.
this conversation, she has practically climbed up your shoulder.
It is
However,
noted that Alvin does not budge, does not push away, as that would be rude. But it is clearly not making any form of advances or otherwise. He is being the picture of politeness.
She'll give you a pat on the head before something catches her eye on the other side of the room, and wait right here. I'll be right back. I promise. And she takes off.
Just
And
all fours.
Cassandra watches her go. Oh, darling, your sister's never coming back tonight. Yeah, well, if we called her over, she probably would. But she always forgets. She always forgets.
She's lovely.
Hmm. She'll find something else that interests her, and will be fixated on that until she finds something else that interests her, and completely forget about whatever came before. Oh well. That's just one of her quirks, and I love my dear daughter.
Indeed. At some point, Miss Cassandra, I'd love to pick you and your clan's brains about possible modifications to my establishment to be a little more welcoming to the Nosferatu of the city. I have aims to open up the shop to a bit more of the kindred side of things, and I know your clan has special circumstances for being able to enjoy nightlife establishments.
Oh, of course, darling, and I'm so glad to hear you mentioning things of that nature. Most people try and give us the runaround, or barely put up with us at all. But in any case, you're going to want to talk to Donovan about that. That's Primogen Donovan. He's the one that heads up all those sorts of deals and arrangements.
I figured, but I at least wanted to make sure to broach the topic with you at first. I've got a lot of people I'd like to speak with tonight, and I just wanted to say hello, extend a fair hand, and like I said, I like to know that Pius is being taken care of.
Well, he is. He is my. She starts counting on her fingers. Out of character, I can't remember if Pius is number 6 or number 7, but either way, whichever one of those numbers it is, that number of child, and none of them have died on me yet.
Glad to hear.
Only
That
3 are
said,
here in the city, though.
that said, Ashley, I know that you and your clan are roaming about. Would you care to introduce us?
Sure. If I can introduce you to them. I haven't really ever introduced them to anybody. This is gonna be new. And she'll lead them over.
Olivia.
Olivia continues looking at her glass, looking about to see what else she could look. Well, the chandeliers are a bit high, but you could probably lick the candlesticks.
Or the foot.
Mm. Could
Oh, sorry.
could Alvin roll a could Alvin roll a finance real quick?
Absolutely. What kind of finance law are you making to roll here?
He possibly heard Olivia mention what looks to be the most expensive. Alvin's just trying to get a quick read on the valuables within this chamber.
I'm guessing this is like a side throw to Olivia while he's attending to Ashley.
Not just a side throw, more just a mix of chaos. So what would I be rolling in addition to finance?
Perception. Just make it difficulty 6.
A single success.
Aside from the chandeliers, which are too much above you and too brightly shining to get an accurate judge of their make and worth, you notice that a number of the vases and pottery on display around the various tables or in the corners or in little alcoves around the wall edges of the wall, some of those seem to be particularly old and likely quite valuable.
Wonder what kind of insurance the prince has on those Faces. They look positively exquisite.
Some of them are
Probably-
vases. Some of them are more likely to be considered cloisonné, if you know the term.
Nah. Probably worth
Oh.
quite a bit. He's got good taste. I just kind of say that absently, and it kind of alludes to the value in case Olivia happens to catch it.
Olivia just goes, taste? Starts looking at all of them. She
For
too.
the full record, cloisonné are those fancy, like Chinese and Asian pottery. Yeah, you
Okay.
see around.
Ooh, she
Usually
wants to
brightly
go.
colorful.
She wants to lick one of those. Because then she could say she at least went to China. She licked some Chinas. She ate some Chinese.
Okay, are you going to at all try and hide what it is you're doing?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, make me a dexterity stealth check to not show to everyone that you're just going to town looking a pot.
Dexterity and what?
Stealth.
Stealth? Okay. Don't I already have that one? Yeah. And what difficulty?
It's a pretty crowded room. There's a lot of people. Difficulty 7.
Damn it.
You got this. Use a willpower if you need to.
I don't know what I got. What the hell?
0.
Oh, damn it.
0. A number of people watch you looking at, and you can just mentally feel and hear their opinions of you taking a bit of a dive, but you're a Malkavian, so they probably weren't expecting much from you to begin with.
After she's done licking it, she's just gonna.
Lyra is giving you a thumbs up from the opposite end of the room.
Olivia, after she's done licking it, she still is crouched, staring at the vase that she's licking, and just points at it and goes like, "You're mine now."
Let me know if you try and carry it out, though. That will be an entirely different and entirely more likely to invoke a response sort of thing.
Jeez. Okay, I'll let you know. But Alvin was trying to get
Yep.
Ashley to.
Yep.
On our way there,
Ash.
though, Ashley's gonna make a mention to Alvin about Olivia before we get to her family. Olivia had a vision while we were at the Stormer's Den. We need to talk about it, but not now. When we get the moment, though. She was spooked.
I see.
She was very spooked, and it wasn't the time or place yesterday, and now it's still not the time and place. But we gotta find the time and place soon.
That's fairly easy then. Once this business here is all settled, if we'd like to head back to the bagel, or if we want to rally together the next night, my books are open.
Sounds like a plan, but yes.
Are you coming along, Pius?
Yeah, I'm coming.
Also, before you all get there, there was a new addition added to our clan, and he might spook you just a little bit. I think he's very cool, but just be nice, please.
So long as you vouch for him, I'm probably not going to have any problems.
Ashley, I live in a sewer with monsters.
Monsters in this are kind of different. It's very different. And then she'll head off.
All right. Well,
Who do you lead them to first?
Crazy, like flashes of zombies standing in forms.
The very obvious person would be first her sire.
Dr. Thorne first. Got it. Oop. He is currently conversing with, let's see, roll a dice. Yes, he's currently conversing with another familiar face to the one person that's not here, Elizabeth Dane. And that is why I find it particularly fascinating as to how they conduct themselves. Oh, that seems very fascinating. But I'm afraid I need to be getting going because I see someone about to do something stupid. What? Oh, I understand you entirely. Don't let me hold you up, dear Primogen. Hmm. And Elizabeth then will seem to be making a beeline for someone that may or may not have just been licking a pot. Hmm.
Do I know this is the Malkavian Primogen?
Yes, you've been thoroughly briefed on all the Primogen. That's part of your training.
As she passes by, he sees Olivia's like licking a pot, looks to Elizabeth and goes, "Evening, Miss Dane."
Yes, Mr. Valdrick. Then she'll pause 3 steps later and turn and glance over at you curiously. Was there something important you wish to discuss with me?
No, I was just saying good evening.
Ah, well, good
Alvin
evening
smiles.
to you. And she'll continue towards Olivia, who for once is not your problem tonight.
Her
Give her
entire
the
clan is
pause.
here. All he's trying to do is let her have fun.
Indeed. Now, Ashley, how are you doing, child?
I'm doing well. I have brought my friends to introduce them to you.
Wonderful. And you are?
I am Alvin Tobias Valdrick. This here is our mutual friend, Pius Brisbane.
Oh, good to meet both of you. And he will hold out his hand to shake with you.
Alvin will certainly return the handshake.
Yeah, Pius will shake his hand.
Wonderful. What can I
Making,
do for you this evening?
mostly making the rounds to meet each of my friends' clan families, and just getting to see everybody who's out and about. It's not often that we see everyone collected as they are tonight. And now that everyone is in good spirits due to completed tasks or the like, I figured it prudent to make faces known.
Of course, that's certainly a admirable objective and an important one for a young upstanding kindred as yourself. Now, out of character, I would like you to make me a perception and alertness roll, difficulty 7.
Perception and alertness.
Ashley
You
automatically
said
succeeds on
7?
this. Yep, 7. And Ashley automatically succeeds on this, so she doesn't have to roll. Pies can make it if he wants to.
I got 3.
Oh,
Okay.
Elvin's got it.
No, you can
Well,
roll
yeah,
too, because it's
yeah,
about, personal, like, seeing.
personal seeing details, yes. You can choose to forfeit if you don't want to.
Well, what was
Not
the,
gonna make
the,
it.
the roll again?
Perception alertness, difficulty 7.
Oh, okay. Already got that tied into spotting.
Right?
2 successes. There's for Pius, there's a little something off about Dr. Thorne's eyes. Alvin notes that they have as he's looking at you, have a distinct sort of hunger to them. It almost reminds you of a somewhat hungry vampire might look, except he has none of the signs of being low on blood at all. It just seem oddly focused on you for a moment before he seems to rein it in, and
Can I
they're
ask
no longer
this?
quite so focused on you.
Can I ask this?
Mhm.
I don't know his story, but does this vibe similarly to the Butcher?
No,
Okay.
not at all similar to the Butcher.
Nope, just traces of hunger, but inexplicable hunger.
Mm-hmm.
Understood.
It's just it seems odd to put the word hunger to his gaze, but that's where your instincts lead you.
No, fair enough.
Perhaps your mind might even dismiss it a little bit as him just being overly inquisitive, but somewhere that little kernel of thought of hunger is probably going to stick around.
The Tremere have always been a bit on the, like, for lack of a better word, edgy side when it comes to, what they've done or are willing to do kind of thing. Alvin hasn't really had the exposure to them in such a direct fashion, so,
Hmm.
that hunger can be explained in a multitude of different ways that doesn't lead down to necessarily, he wants to eat me, but
Yep.
more of a, hunger for whatever else Alvin
It's just
might
made
know.
a touch. Yeah, it's just made a touch unsettling by his odd-colored eyes. And sure, that bright golden color you see in his little portrait.
No, perfectly fine.
And
Alvin retains a smile.
Your studies will have absolutely shown that while the Ventrue often lead the Camarilla, the Tremere often have a long history of being the power supporting the throne sort of thing. Well, it was a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Mr. Valdric. And your name is... We will look at Pius.
I did mention it prior. This was Pius.
Oh, did you? Sorry, I lost track of thought in our little bit there. My bad.
No problem.
I'll
And
be
you
right
as well,
back.
Mr. Brisbane.
All right.
Of course. Oh, is that out of character or out of character?
That was Ashley. Or,
No,
sorry, Olivia.
Right, sorry.
All right.
So, okay. I trust you're all getting along rather well. I know being forced together as the prince ordered, it can be a bit difficult, especially when people haven't met each other or are of differing personalities and natures. But you seem to all be rather friendly with each other.
I'd like to think that we're a welcoming lot looking to make sure each individual is taken care of. Kind of looks at Ashley. Even if we have some differences and experiences that we didn't have completely thought through.
Dr. Thorne raises an eyebrow as if he's sensing there's a story there, but he doesn't intrude on it. Yes, certainly so. I remember my days as a young kindred, fresh from the Chantry. I got up to many things then. That was back in New York. A very different New York than you're familiar with. New York of the 1870s, specifically. It was very changing times back then.
Mid-industrial revolution, somewhere around there. Yeah.
Yes, did you know I personally met with one Nikolai Tesla.
Quite interesting.
He was actually one of us, kindred. Malkavian, specifically.
Somehow that doesn't surprise me.
The whole mad genius vibe, yes?
Indeed.
He's still around, mind you, but not here in the Seattle, of course.
That is news to me. Something I will pocket away for later.
Met quite a few people back then. In any case.
I'm sure that we could have a much longer dialogue outside of current circumstances. As I said, I wanted to make acquaintances. I know that everyone has their own clan dichotomies, and I wanted to at least extend the welcoming hand, trying to bridge some boundaries that most have put up. I know that everyone has their domiciles that they like to stick to. Like a few more meeting grounds out and about the town.
Of course. Well, don't let me hold you up. It was lovely seeing you again so soon, my dear.
Same
The rest of the family is around somewhere.
I'm sure I can find him.
You're welcome to introduce us to anyone else that you'd like, Ashley. I'm just saying hello. But if you don't want to, you don't have to feel pressured either.
I don't mind introducing. Just gotta find him. Why don't I introduce you guys to my study buddies? I guess you'd call them.
Sure. Do you want to grab Olivia for this before she gets herself in a little over her head? I'm sure she'd love to meet your personal friends.
Yeah, we should probably do that. I don't want her getting in trouble.
Speaking of Olivia, is Steph back?
I am
Yes.
back.
Excellent. You are licking the pot, whispering to it about its secret of now being yours and not whoever owns it, probably the prince. And a hand comes down on your shoulder.
Olivia just freezes and just kind of slowly looks up to see who it is.
Someone you probably didn't want to see, considering that the last time you had a girls' night involving her and your sire, things were not entirely non-traumatic with yourself.
Flashbacks, all of them.
All of the flashbacks.
The
It's
mummy.
Amy's.
The mummy eating. Oh, the mummy unwrapping. Oh God. And Olivia's so traumatized and stuff like that as she's looking up at Elizabeth that she just blurts out, "I just want a Chinese."
Elizabeth will laugh daintily, almost forcibly. I'm sure. But try not eating Chinese that's not yours. Yes?
Olivia just gets a sheepish like grin, like, "Yeah, you're kind of right."
I'm
Sorry.
afraid our dear Prince Woods has certain opinions of us, and we should not be so endeavoring fulfilling them.
Yeah, she kind of looks over Elizabeth Danes to see if the prince is looking in her direction, kind of
Oh no, the
embarrassed.
Prince is currently busy talking with a recently re-arrived victor.
Oh, thank
You don't know if he saw you doing the licking, but you're sure that word will be making it around to him eventually. I mean, everyone gossips here, and you're in the heart of that gossip, and you just
Oh,
licked something and
shit.
everyone saw you.
Elizabeth just, or not Elizabeth, sorry. I'm looking at her name right now. Olivia. Sorry. Olivia just apologizes and kind of looks at the ground while still kind of side-eyeing the vase.
There, and you will receive thus a head pat.
Side-eye.
Albeit a head pat with just enough strength behind it to uncomfortably nudge your head a little lower to the ground.
Yeah.
I'm sure you won't do it again, will you?
No?
It's all Lyra's fault to begin with, anyway.
Maybe I won't. God damn it. I'm sorry.
You okay?
She's just
Yeah.
coughing.
I can't stop coughing.
Man,
But she,
post-nasal drip is just the worst.
oh yeah. But Olivia kind of just states like, at least I won't do it in the prince's domain. Maybe?
You'll receive another but much more gentle head pat.
Okay.
Very good. Now, I have places to be, and I believe that's one of your friends coming as we speak.
Ooh, she looks over to see who it is coming their way.
I believe it's Ashley that was coming over to fetch Olivia.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Ashley was running over to get her.
So Olivia gets excited, kind of just says, uh, you know, she says something nice to Elizabeth, just thanking her for her not tearing her a new asshole. And not in not in those many words, but something more polite, and asks if she can be dismissed to go to her friend.
Of course. Off you trot.
And she gives her a big smile and just kind of trots off towards Ashley.
As Ashley's retrieving Olivia, Alvin will just kind of lean over to Pius. You doing all right tonight, man?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Just thinking about stuff.
Out of character. In what way might Pius seem different tonight, David?
It's I don't know. He's lost some humanity. There's just little things that are just gotten quiet about stuff. Just keeping things more to himself.
Hmm.
Alvin,
He's diving into something he didn't think he'd ever dive into. So he's just kind of really thinking hard about it.
Alvin's noticed the quietness, and while he's, understood that, like, Pius isn't one for crowds, particularly being, like, Nosferatu, Pius has been overly, like, reserved and removed, even in, like, the presence of his family members. So, Alvin would just kind of give him a pat on the back and, like, well, sounds like Olivia's got things that she wants to talk about, and we'll probably do that either later tonight after this is all done or tomorrow. But if you got something on your chest or your shoulders, talk about that too if you want.
Oh yeah, in due time, I'll talk about what's going on. But as for now, I gotta kind of just keep it to myself.
All right.
Appreciate it though.
Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, Ashley and Olivia can reconnect.
Ashley will be running up to her and be like, Olive, did you just get in trouble?
Maybe?
What were you doing to that pot?
I was having Chinese.
Okay. Come on. I'm introducing my family. You just missed meeting my sire, but you can meet everybody else. Come on.
Yes, lots. Yes, I'm following.
And she'll lead them over to meet Sue and Theo. Hopefully they're together.
You're heading over to meet who?
Sue and Theo. Hopefully.
Sue and Theo. Right. Study buddies.
Hey, Ashley?
Hmm.
Can I lick them?
Please don't lick them. I mean, you could probably lick Theo, but he might taste weird. I wouldn't. He's a bit different. Good different, but he's different.
Weird. Different. I gotta taste it.
Oh God.
Okay. You find Sue being the wallflower that she is against one of the walls, and Theo not being all that much different. Honestly, there's at least 6 feet between the two of them, but they're probably the closest to each other than they are to anyone else. Clearly out of their element here.
Why does that keep getting stuck? There we go.
Why does what keep getting stuck?
When you pull up the character stuff, and I'm just trying to rearrange their
Oh, and the thing sticks to
Mhm.
your mouse, and you're like just
Yeah.
dragging it everywhere. Yeah, happens to me too.
Yeah, because I want to keep them up while you're role playing them, just so I can have the
But
visual.
you just so you don't have them. You don't want them on top of each other. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'd be real nice if they could be in like this, book format where they were each an individual page, and you could just kind of click on them as you wanted, and
This is
so nice
starting
and
to sound a bit like
Wow,
Sylph trying to get his freaking harp right now.
whoring for Foundry. I mean, how much is
She's
Foundry paying
reeling it in.
How much are they paying you? I mean, you must be one of their top tier
Just
call girls.
garnishing the whole thing with fun
Oh my
factory.
god.
Hey,
You fucking
Foundry.
segues, Nick. Get out of here.
Continue, carry on. I'm being a troll.
Take your sponsored tramp stamp ass out of here.
Hmm. Oh, hey, Ashley, how you doing?
Hi.
Sue will be the first to notice you and greet you.
Hey Sue, how are you doing? I just wanted to bring my friends by, the ones I've been working with, and introduce them to you guys. I know I've kind of talked
Oh,
about them.
you're Coderade. Do you want me to introduce you to mine? I mean, I can find them if you want me to. I mean, but I don't really like spending that much time with them if I don't have to.
That's okay. You don't have to. I know it's different.
Hmm. You don't talk about it much, but you know for a fact that Sue and Theo are each in their own coterie, as enforced by the prince.
Mhm.
I thought that beforehand they weren't allowed outside in the same way that
Nope, they are.
Ashley was.
They are.
Huh.
They just don't often talk about being outside. Sue was embraced 6 months before. Well, actually, 6 months to 2 years. I don't remember which before Ashley was. She definitely is. Theo was 6 months after Ashley, so he's the newest one to be allowed out of the chantry, and doesn't go outside the chantry unless he absolutely has to.
I hear you. Just
They're both introverts. Theo is
I-
just much more of an introvert.
vaguely remembered tapes. Gonna have to go find those. Carry on.
I may have forgotten something, you're right, but I just made a whole bunch of stuff, and I didn't want to have to make extra Tremere because that I would have to reintroduce them, and so I used them.
Mm-hmm.
And Sue, if any of them, would have absolutely been out of the chantry at some point because she's technically Ashley Senior.
Yep.
Hmm.
I think David went
In any
upstairs.
Okay, so you are. Oh, Theo, get over here. Stop pretending like there's no one next to you. I mean, sheesh. I don't like the party either, but you should be over here, not over there. Because I said so. Hard thing to pull rank on, but whatever curse he was about to say, he cuts off and just kind of comes on over, shoulders hunched. Yeah, I'm here now. What?
I just wanted to introduce my group to you guys, put names and faces together from when I've talked about them. Sorry to make you have to socialize. Besides around
Theo
me.
is looking anywhere but at you, and Sue is analyzing your companions. You're obviously the Nosferatu. You must be pious. You're Alvin, the only other male. Even if your coat of dress didn't obviously reveal that. And that leaves you, colorful one, Olivia.
Pius looks at his leather jacket and is like, "Is it my clothes? Like, how did you know?" Oh,
It's
She will
that
give you a
award-winning
deadpan look.
smile you got.
yeah, it's got to be the smile.
We call him Giggle Mug.
Theo, grumbling from the side, probably because you stink of sewer. That's probably why.
Rude.
And Sue will shoot him a nasty, nasty look.
It's better than
Ashley would be
roses and
doing the
perched
same.
butthole.
Olivia does not want to lick him anymore. He was rude.
Indeed. Indeed, he was
It's
very, very rude.
it's what we like to call the grunge scent, and it's new and upcoming in many of the rave scenes that go about Seattle.
Yeah, I like to wear, more of like a manly musk smell. I'm not really down with your, Victoria's Secret smell.
Pious.
Yeah, you're right. I'm around elders and primogens. They'll rip my head off. Sorry.
It's okay. Theo will get his dues when he gets back.
That being said, it is
Probably. You doubt
nice to.
anything's going unmissed by Regent Steel.
Mm-hmm.
And even if it was, Sue would probably tattle at the first chance she got,
Mm-hmm.
being his child.
That said, it is nice to meet both of you. We get little in the ways of tales from the chantry when it comes to Ashley.
One moment, guys. Okay, sorry about that. I'm back.
Okay.
What were you saying?
It's nice to meet both of you, regardless. We don't get much in the ways of tales from the chantry on account of your established orders that be. So it is nice to actually meet some faces and shake some hands.
I'm Sue Helen. This rude little oddball is Theo Martel. If you don't already know, my sire is Regent Steel, or Primogen Steel, as you would refer to him. Though, sire, I can answer that myself, thank you. Sheesh. My sire's Alexandra Valentine. She's our quartermaster, if you must know. And with your rudeness, she's probably going to be the one belting you when we get back to the chantry.
I'm not here to get anyone in trouble or nothing, but it is, again, nice to meet you both.
Of course.
Making the rounds, saying hi to different people. Gatherings like this don't happen often, and despite not all of us getting along necessarily, it is still good to know who's about the room. Kind of gives a knowing smile towards Thea, who seemed to be the most reticent to talk to anybody.
Mm. Yeah, whatever.
Well, that being said, I will see you guys back at the chantry later. I'm gonna go find Tobias.
Well, I think he's there. He's over there in a somewhat isolationist bubble of in terms of lack of people around him. Tobias is not in a corner, but kind of off by his lonesome at the far end of one of the tables.
And that's where we're heading.
So for the rest of you, not sure if I hit show yet, but there we go. Boop. You're following where Ashley's leading you, but the only person over there is what appears to be an 8, 9, or 10-year-old child. A few years younger than even Waif's appearance.
How old does Wave seem to look?
Honestly, she could be anywhere from like 12 to 14, but but the way that she's so small, you honestly usually think of her as a 12-year-old in that sense.
But I probably,
From
but I probably knew her reputation before even like meeting her per se.
you know that supposedly, from whispers, Alvin at the very least, and probably only Alvin would know that she's supposedly physically like 15 from her time.
Right.
She
So.
just grew up a peasant, probably didn't eat too much, probably had
Mhm.
stunted growth because of that, and didn't have a wide diet or anything like that. So
The,
sizes
the,
change.
the main thing is that Alvin had lore on Wave before actually ever meeting Wave.
Yep.
It's in this like moment that like everyone else is kind of like following Ashley, that like if Alvin connects the dots before he gets there, there's almost a stutter step.
That this is the other Tremere she's wanting to show you, but who embraced a kid is probably running through your head.
Oh yeah.
Mhm. And it's not a who embraced the kid. It's more of a like how dare they have embraced a child.
Hmm.
Alvin's having a bit of a pang of humanity that just kind of like sinks his like core just a little bit.
It could have been a desperate person trying to save a child's life that had like cancer or something.
It's true that is a fair point, but like that first instinctual like familial thing.
You know that if they just wanted to save his life, making them a ghoul would have probably done it.
Fair.
Mhm.
Either way, this
Yeah.
is not something that Alvin likes at all, but he also knows that this probably wasn't like this kid's choice either, so it's not like malice towards him. It's just this sudden realization, and then it's like, nope, keep the face, keep moving.
Yeah, that vague, uncomfortable feeling is probably why no one is in his vicinity.
Mm-hmm.
Ashley, you all right?
Hey, Tobias. No, everything's good. I just wanted to check on you and I wanted to introduce you to my friends.
Hmm. Well, I'd be happy to meet them. Care to introduce me?
Ashley will turn and start pointing at each of them. This one is Olivia, this one is Pius, and then this one is Alvin.
An odd thing you note is that while his words are full and whole like an adult should be, his voice still is every bit that 8, 9, 10-year-old boy, which is odd and even more unsettling in some sense. But despite that, there is a certain air about him that puts you at ease, which is directly contradictory to his appearance in that sense. You felt this way before when you were speaking to Father Elio Vitale at the church. Some sort of natural aura of trustworthiness, I guess, around him.
Ooh,
Alvin, Olivia, Pius. Good to meet all of you.
Tobias, Tobias,
Same.
Tobias. It's nice to meet you. All of you.
Look at Olivia. Nod. Not the first Malkavian I've met.
Alvin just kind of smiles and nods.
Well, what can I do for you?
Just making our rounds. Just wanted to make sure you're okay, though. Yeah, I know that's part of my job. I want to make sure you're okay.
I'm quite fine. I've been in this business far longer than you have.
I know.
Thank you for worrying about me, though.
I'm supposed to. Well, I guess I'm not supposed to, but I do.
We all look after each other in Clan Tremere.
Exactly.
If you don't mind me asking, how did you become embraced?
Alvin just kind of looks at Pius from behind him and like tries his best to like hold it in.
I mean, I'm sure we're all thinking it, and I'm sorry if it's rude.
Tobias, he is
most
very
would
young.
most would probably get offended at that, yes. But let's be honest, it is what you were all thinking, and believe me, it's what everyone is thinking at some point or another after they meet me.
Oh, I think you're neat. I just want to know what happened.
Well, what happened was in 1890, a particular man noticed certain particular talents or natural abilities he believed I had, and didn't want to wait another 10 years or so for me to finish growing before making me his child. He believed he had enough political clout, both in clan and in city, to just dance around any sort of potential hurdles that might ensue. As our clan, even faster than the prince, quickly proved, that was not the case. He died that very night. And I was shuttled off to Vienna as everyone was unsure what to do with me.
Man.
Mhm.
So you were embraced, and then your sire died.
Was put to death, yes.
Man.
I narrowly escaped that same fate.
Well,
It's
I'm
hard to
glad
be
for
more of a
Tim.
masquerade risk than being, well, this and being out after hours.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Do you remember your parents?
I do. Do you always poke at sensitive subjects?
I apologize. Pius is a very inquisitive individual. He is
I didn't
relatively.
get to be one of you.
And he'll cock his head to one side. Didn't get to be one of. Would you care to explain that? Huh?
I was an orphan. I had to be an adult very young. So looking at you being a kid forever, it might sound weird, but I'm kind of jealous.
While being embraced as a child does slow down the mental growth along with everything else, I stopped being a child within the first 20 years or so, I assure you.
Hmm.
And those weren't very fun years.
I can relate.
I didn't see the night sky for nearly 5 decades. And then when I did, the world was at war and it was better off inside.
Alvin feels a bit bad.
Here he is complaining about 5 years, and this guy didn't get out for 450.
Yeah.
Did you ever get so you never got to be a kid either? That's not cool.
Well, I did for the first 10 years of my life. Yes.
So you remember going to the parks and having fun.
Hmm.
What are parks?
There
Well,
was always like
there
parks.
wasn't much fun that had to be had at that time. It was all work, work, work.
All right, that's it. Next time we have spare time, we're going to a park.
That's very sweet, but he's
That's
kind of an adult now, Pius.
you're assuming I have all that much spare time. I'm quite busy.
Oh, we'll find time. We can go out feeding at a park.
Right, right. Yes, sure. Tobias says, clearly thinking he's never going to be stepping past the chantry walls much anyway soon. So, good luck getting to him. Good luck.
Pius is so sweet.
He is. He's very sweet.
He is sweet in the oddest of ways, considering his low humanity.
It's his desperate attempt to grasp on to what is slipping away.
Like, there's Pies doesn't keep much as sacred. There's very little, but then there's things like this. They're just so obviously, wow, that was inhuman. That really shouldn't have happened. At least for now. Maybe in the future, Pius will have lost even that touch of humanity, but for now, he still has that.
Hey, yeah, we'll see. He might slip deeper and deeper.
That's part of the game, really.
Mm-hmm.
Role playing the whole sliding edge of humanity.
Yep, his
Alvin.
characteristics will slightly change the more deeper.
Gonna put a hand on Pius's shoulder and Ashley's shoulder, and it's like, well, it has been nice making introductions, but I have a few more that I'd like to attend to, so I'm going to part ways with you all here.
Hey,
Of
Alan,
course.
See you later. Yes, Olivia.
where's my hand?
I don't have more than 2. I'm sorry about that.
So put your leg on my shoulder.
It doesn't work that way.
Ashley will
To get
extend a
flexible.
hand and just grab Olivia's shoulder, like, there, here's a hand.
A childlike giggle. A childlike giggle erupts in front of you as Tobias finds this conversation hilarious.
Pius would catch that and be like, there it is. There's the kid.
Alvin is going to depart anyhow and go seek out Evelyn Belmont, the primogen of Toreador.
Primogen of Toreador.
Hmm.
Are you going alone?
Yep, because I'm going to leave this conversation because Alvin's looking for a distraction now.
Were you just looking at the closest, unfamiliar name then? In any case, you find her readily enough. She is currently having a conversation with, let me see. Yep, there we are. Her own child, one Ethan Sumner.
Alvin, of course, is not going to interrupt the conversation as that's kind of rude, but,
It wraps up fairly quickly. Ethan looks like he wants to be anywhere but here.
Oh, no.
Probably longing to get back to some hobby or another activity that is not socializing and politicizing, which is tough luck and tough shit when you're the child of a primogen. But eventually, Evelyn allows him to leave. That boy stand to be a lot more grateful about his circumstances. Whatever.
Alvin just kind of watches Ethan walk away and notes that for later. Good evening, Miss Belmont.
I'm sorry, I almost walked into you. Yes. Mr. Valdric, yes? Arthur's child?
Indeed. just making the rounds and making acquaintances with each of the different clans. We don't all get together like this, so I figured it'd be an opportune time to just make the rounds, say hello.
I wish my child had that sort of sense. Alas, he does not. Can play
Everybody's got their own aspirations, and some are not necessarily tailored for conversations with others. He kind of eyes the Tremere study buddies off to the side with a small smile.
Indeed.
But as I said, I figured I would make the rounds. I am looking to get opinions from each of the different clans. I'm looking to make another place for those of our kindred society to have as a not necessarily secondary Elysium, but a place where they can enjoy.
There are a good few businesses run by kindred or ghouls that cater to such things, yes. It would be nice to see yet one more.
Indeed. So this is my hand reaching out, and whilst we may not be able to chat business here in this time, I would still like to speak with you and your clan about your thoughts on possible developments in the future.
Of course. Any sort of ideas you want to speak on now, or is this just the introduction?
This is an introduction for the most part, but I've, like I said, made little drops to some of the other clans at this time, and I'm sure I'll get chances to speak with others here or there, but for now it is just aims to make another safe place for our kind to enjoy themselves and maybe broaden their horizons for the future.
Well, I will be excited to see where that leads you.
If you'd like a teaser, as I'm sure the Toreador are very interested in the delicate trends that are happening in the now. I am seeking to breach into the technological advancement that I'm sure many of our kind has not quite dipped their toes into yet.
I've watched it from afar. It's really progressed quite fast.
And I believe that it'll continue to grow exponentially.
Where do you see the mortals in another 20 years?
I suspect that while we had the Industrial Revolution decades back, we are hitting what will be a digital revolution, and our kind will need to be ready for the advancements mortals run into.
Some would call what you're saying absolute hogwash. I'm not an idiot, though. I'm not one of them.
You've seen how they've progressed technology in the last 10 years alone.
Hmm.
Devices that allow you to call a loved one all the way across the Atlantic. That was hogwash. And yet in 10 years, they've made it happen. Reliably.
My sire once told me about when they first invented the camera. Initially, it wasn't a big deal. It took minutes even to take a proper picture. Now look at them. They work instantly.
Mm-hmm. That said, it was a pleasure to meet your acquaintance, officially instead of just through the hands of my sire.
Well, it's lovely to meet you as well. If only my child would take after someone like you a bit more. That said, don't let me at all downplay his abilities on the piano, or indeed any keyboard. He is just magnificent when he puts his mind to it.
An artist truly worth the name of Toreador. I've got a special appreciation for the arts myself.
I just wish he could see that and appreciate that. I feel he gets hung up a bit too much on the politics and socialiteness of it all.
Sometimes you gotta find the way that makes the most sense for an individual. To kind of teach them through that lens rather than your own.
You speak like someone that was a century older.
Let's just say that when it comes to training people, not every method works. And in the military, you find what works.
So it is. Well, if you don't mind, I will speak to you later, Mr. Valdrick.
Indeed, you enjoy your night, Miss Belmont. I'll let the rest, kind of do their thing since I ran off.
Well, Alvin had run off. What are Pius, Ashley, and Olivia up to?
I'm still hanging out with Ashley,
Yeah,
kind of following her around.
probably just trying to find a quiet corner of the room, which is not happening.
Yeah, Pius is sitting there explaining what Ren and Stimpy is to Tobias.
Okay, that's a mental image.
I'm gonna tell this over 100 to 200-year-old little kid vampire what
He was 10
cartoons
years old
are.
in 1890. He was 10 years old in 1890.
Okay, so over 100 years old.
Yep, he's 115 now, I believe.
He's like, and
And
in
he's
the cartoon, these kids would get this thing called Log, and there was a superhero called Powdered Toast Man, and he flew backwards.
Why would you powder toast?
Well, it's just as normal toast is boring, but this had powdered toast on it, so it was super, and he fought off, boring cereal and stuff like that.
Why would you fight cereal?
Well,
Does the cereal mean something new?
Well, as you see, nowadays kids like the sugary cereal that rots your teeth out, not the old healthy kind like oats and all that we would eat. So the show is kind of like making fun of how kids only like sweet stuff. So if you put show sugar on something, it becomes super. That's like the slang term for like kids nowadays.
Okay. Just out of character. Cheerios were first introduced May 2nd, 1941. This guy first stuck his head out of a chantry in 1940 and then decided to go back in because World War II was happening and he was in Europe at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, so there's a lot to explain to him. Oh man.
Pius has found his new surrogate little brother, and Tobias doesn't even know he's been signed on for that.
What?
Yeah, he's just dumping everything he wanted to do as a kid into Tobias's mind.
Like Pius is like, I didn't have a happy childhood because foster care and foster systems. Wait, here's a kid I can live vicariously through him. I just need to introduce him to everything.
And he's still he's inadvertently backup filing his life, so that way when he loses all humanity, he'll have like this lingering Tobias left behind.
If we were playing Requiem or Vamp V5, this would be you creating a new touchstone.
Whenever I see Tobias, I snap back into that little bit of humanity again.
What about Ashley and Olivia? How embarrassed is Ashley, and how is Olivia? What is Olivia doing?
She's quite embarrassed by Pius right now. But other than that, she's just trying to hold it all in. There's a lot going on. She's had a very, very long night. This is the second night in a row that has not gone as planned.
Mm-hmm.
And she's just like, I want it over with now.
Yep. The previous night that didn't go as planned was the Stormer's Den, and now this.
Yep. Well, and including earlier in the night before she even got here. It's just been like a whirlwind of bullshit.
Where Sire dropped some bombs on her. Yeah.
Yep. She's just like whirlwind of bullshit, and I need this over with.
Olivia's just rattling off to Ashley about how the vase tasted and the texture, and the size of it and how it did not taste like Chinese.
And how she barely fit as much as she did in her mouth, and blah blah blah. uh, in any case, as you are having this conversation, music starts to play in the room as it's classical chamber music. Presumably a waltz, and indeed a few dancers will take to the floor. Whether or not that's your scene or not is entirely beside the point. There's a spot on the middle of the floor that's been hollowed out for it, and presumably that will be a main thing going forward, but that will be for next time, because for right now we're going to draw it to a close. It is 8:20 my time, I believe 9:20 your time, which is actually around our normal closing time, as aside from the previous two sessions where we ended early. One of them because Steph was drunk, and the other time because
Internet.
I forget. Internet, yes, that.
Yeah. This time we actually got a full session in.
Indeed. I hope everyone had fun.
This is
Oh,
certainly
yeah.
amusing.
I'm glad Pius's character shifted, like his slight shifts are being noticed.
I mean, it's the first time we've actually been like together as a group since the Stormer's Den, and that
But
you've
yeah,
actually
Pius just
been
had to
like,
kill someone. Like he's going through some
uh-huh.
shit right now. Like he's holding it in, but like there's still like that lingering, like, oh my god, I'm really doing this.
And Group Mom Alvin has picked up on it, yes.
And as a note, that was not in the response of you actually having done the thing. It was also just David's not talking tonight. I should make sure that like he's touched upon.
Oh.
Yeah, I apologize if it was lopsided at parts for some of you getting screen time.
It wasn't necessarily on like you for that one, Andrew. It was just David's being quiet. Pius, has had some scenes, but hasn't had like a whole lot of like group activity. So it's like, all right, let's gather the group together a little bit and kind of meet the fams.
Indeed.
I enjoy it when the girls get their time to like actually do their things.
Agreed.
So I kind of just like to sit back and listen to it like I'm listening to like a show. And then when I hear a Pius, I'm like, all right, my turn.
Well, I will take us to XP now, and obviously you get the one automatic XP, obviously. I'm not, as usual, you'll roll great. You'll get your role-playing experience. And that brings us to what have you learned? Starting with Pius. Pius, what did Pius learn tonight?
Let's see. I'm trying to think of some. There's a few things I could bring up, but I'm trying to think of one that like stood out the most. Probably Tobias. It's not that he learned something. It's just he's gathered more information on just the backgrounds of vampires. Like seeing that kid, and then also like once again the bagel chick. Like
Wait.
It's just like this flex of power, but yet they're so tiny. Like these are children that have been vampires for so long.
Technically, Tobias is just an insula. He's not an elder. He's just 100 years or so.
Yeah.
Whereas Waif's been around for centuries. So there's that.
Waif, there you go. Yeah, I keep trying to think her name was Lily, but it's Waif. Okay.
Yeah, you're fine. You're fine. Okay. Appearance doesn't determine everything. That is what Pius has learned tonight.
Yes.
What did Ashley learn tonight?
Ashley learned how I'm trying to figure out how to put it. The whole thing with the Fordon, with his execution, how gruesome and dramatic it really is, because she's heard about, these things happening, but she's never seen it before. So actually seeing it and just seeing the actual dramatization of everything that the prince does, it just kind of shocked her. And the fact that that could happen to anyone if they fuck up at all. Like even like the thought of like her sire, like if he gets caught, that could be him.
Hmm.
So that's what she learned.
All right, that's +1 for Ashley. Alvin, what did Alvin learn tonight?
Remind me, you said that Ethan was a talented musician, or was he a talented artist?
Talented musician.
That's what I thought. All right. Alvin's keeping track of the dynamics between different childs and different sires. Just the nature of who gets along with who, and, who he's going to have conversations with later. Realistically, it's, there are different approaches to this overall game. And while his sire might have high hopes for him, Alvin's not looking to necessarily play by Arthur's rules.
Indeed. So he's learned to be watchful, I guess, of his surroundings and what makes people tick.
Oh, no, not just that he learned to watch. He already knew he had to do that. No, this is specific, like, individuals who, dynamics he might be exploiting later.
Okay, +1 Alvin. Olivia, what did Olivia learn tonight?
Well, Olivia learned the masquerade is important from talking to Tobias and the fort and watching the Fordham butcher execution, and she also learned that she needs better etiquette when she's in the prince's domain.
Being polite to one's in the presence of one's elders is generally a good idea. Yes. At least you didn't exactly go up to the prince and tell him to fuck off in front of the entire crowd. Then there would have been a second execution tonight.
Yeah, let's not do that.
Excellent. So +1 Olivia. And now in reverse, Olivia, who's your MVP?
I want to say Alvin. It was a toss up because I liked all three players tonight. But I'm going to say Alvin because of the role playing and just the interactions and stuff like that I had with him.
Alrighty. 1 for Alvin. Alvin, who's your MVP?
Really appreciated the little humanity scene that Olivia and Alvin had earlier in the session. And it kind of gave a nice little grounding for, despite the fact that Olivia's a little out there and lost in her own consciousness, that there are still things that ground her and almost relate to Alvin. So Olivia's getting my MVP tonight.
Indeed. Ashley, who is Ashley's MVP?
I was gonna say Olivia. I think she did really well with following through the whole licking thing through the entire night. She didn't skip a beat at all on that.
She licks so
Okay.
many things.
Pius. Who's Pius's MVP? And why?
I was gonna say Alvin because he kind of set off the wandering around and meeting all the sires and just the members of the clan and stuff. I thought that was fun.
So we have a tie between Alvin and Olivia. Whatever shall I do?
Flip a coin.
Execute one of them.
I mean,
I volunteer as tribute.
if we're going into Arc 2 and you don't want ties, I guess this comes down to, what do you think contributed to, your own personal MVP of the session there, Andrew?
Yeah.
I'm going to
Yeah.
cast my vote then, and I will cast my vote for Alvin for driving the session forward.
All right, then.
I like it.
I agree.
Not that I didn't like what Olivia was doing. It was hilarious, and I enjoyed it very much. I also enjoyed Pius trying to talk to Tobias like he was a kid and wouldn't understand what he was trying to convey.
I
Despite being
legit
like a
have it.
century out of time.
I legit have it in my notes that the bond between Pius and Tobias is interesting. This needs to be nurtured.
Hmm.
It's in
Obviously-
my journal. You can see it there.
Obviously, Olivia's looking, and
I'm amused with
I'm going to
Ashley's
need to get
connection
Ashley's more
with.
screen time to next session.
Well, the funny thing is she had some screen time throughout this episode a bit. Is just her cast members of the Tremere clan, outside of like her study buddies, are just wallflowers, and it's like you can tell because they're executed that way quite well. And it's
I mean,
like, wow, Ashley, you're the interesting one of your trio.
they're a clan of bookworms, so yes.
Well, and the fact that she like noted Alvin that like Olivia's got something she really wants to talk about, and Pius seems to have some shit. That really did help. Like, while Ashley might not have had some bombastic scene this time around, she was very instrumental in kind of guiding some of the flow of like how this session went. So I don't want that to be undersold.
Indeed.
Because she could have just told us, "Nah, you met my sire. Go away now."
Yep.
Yep. Okay, so that's 3 XP for everyone, and an extra 1 for Alvin.
Yay.
And on next session, we have the wrap up of the assembly, presumably involving a little bit more social time for those that want it, and likely involving a personal meeting with the prince for you 4.
Oh shit.
Interesting.
I plead the fifth
Uh,
on the base.
After all, the prince did mention talking to you about something after everything was settled.
Mhm.
So it has been quite a few sessions since that conversation actually occurred.
It's been about
All right,
about
guys.
9 months.
Yeah. All right, guys. What do we want out of the prince? He's gonna offer us a deal, and we're gonna have to take it. What do we want?
A single drop of his blood.
That's not gonna
What-
happen.
What's that get us other than a blood bond and some sort of fealty to him?
I
Because you
don't
gotta
know.
remember, if we drink his blood, that means that we become like infatuated with him.
Oh, we don't want that.
Yeah.
He needs
Like,
to take
yeah.
a drink of our blood.
I think we'd be killed on the spot for that one.
Shit.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's not going. That's not exactly offering or trying to demand a blood bond is not exactly something done lightly, especially not to someone so far above you as the prince.
Mhm.
I want him to lose purposely in a thumb wrestling contest with Olivia.
Jesus Christ. I get his vase if I
Well,
win.
ideally, it would be something that you, the coterie, would agree on. So,
Yep.
try and not to make it something humiliating. That would probably go over poorly.
No, I won't.
Do you
No.
want,
I was
do you
just
want the
being
prince
goofy.
as an enemy? Even if he doesn't immediately execute you, do you really want him as a enemy, or at least even just remotely disapproving of you?
No.
No.
What does our coterie need?
That's my question, because like the way that I'm kind of leading the bagel, I'm trying to get it so that way it's kindred safe. And like, so I'm trying to talk to each of the different clans to kind of like make that happen,
Uh-huh.
which is gonna have to like take some extra talkings. But the main thing is like, I would like it to be able to be a point where, even Ashley can like stay the evening and be away from the chantry whensoever she needs or desires.
That
kind
is
of thing.
something that's something she would need permission from her regent for, and
Yep.
the
Oh,
prince has no say over that.
Oh, I know. But like, just in general, I'm trying to like get the bagel to be a second like home base for the rest of you. But also like, I got this like network of information I'm trying to get for us. So whatever jobs we do in the future, we've got resources to do those things.
Would the
Yep.
prince allow us to like make our own like sub faction and give us territory?
Subfaction, no. Give you territories under the domain background.
Okay.
Additionally, what was I going to say? Right. I completely forgot what I was going to say. Never mind. My bad.
Would it
I
at all
remember.
be possible, Andrew, for you to like conjure up some possible offerings of rewards, so we might have a little more of a like guided
Guide.
like what's allowed kind of thing?
Well, first of all, it hasn't happened yet. I'm going to go ahead and give it to you anyway, just because it's going to happen pretty quickly at the start of next session. You can all add a dot of the status Camarilla background to your character sheets, because he's going to probably bring you up on stage next session to give you a formal thanks in addition to whatever it is he actually gives you.
Status.
So,
Where do we put
status
that?
and then parentheses Camarilla.
And where do I put that in it?
Backgrounds. It's on the main page.
Browns.
It's on the main page.
Status.
I don't have any more spaces for that.
There are 7 spaces under backgrounds. How do you not have space for that?
I don't have any space for it.
Mine just
Okay,
says add.
I'm opening at your. Well, you're probably not on the main page.
I
Okay, let's
am.
see. Okay, yeah. I was talking to David there about not on the main page. Okay, let's see. You have generation, domain.
Oh, there you go. Backgrounds.
Huh?
I told you.
Oh,
Okay.
There it is.
Okay.
Slash Camarilla.
If you want, okay, in this case, you can put your run off in the backgrounds tab of the character sheet, Alvin.
Okay.
what are we writing? Something.
I don't know how to spell Camarilla, so I tried the best that I could.
I'm just going to write this into Discord for you so you can all see it. How about that?
That
Okay.
works.
Status. Oop, there you go. Oh wait, that went to experience. No, I gotta delete that immediately.
Oh, yeah.
We experience it, guys.
There we go. Back into the general chat. Yeah. And then 1 dot, which marks you as I think noted neonates. It's in the background section of the book if you want to look it up. But at this point, it will, after it happens, basically mean that they might not know about you all that much, but they will know of you and will know what you look like. And that you are considered somewhat respectable. So, bonus points.
This adds to my dignitas.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh man, I haven't edited my experience spent in a while. I'm still.
It's a good thing.
30.
It is a good thing then that we're keeping track of everyone's experience, and I have been keeping track of what you've been spending.
So
Yeah.
last time I did it, I was experience gained 30. What am I at now?
Well, let me see. Let me go to the experience page. Scroll up to where it's at. You are currently at 37 total experience.
Okay.
Wait, is that decided? Have you edited it for tonight?
I did. I did. I just forgot to change the day.
So I'd be at 39 then.
There we go.
No, you're at 37.
Yep.
But added on tonight, or is that with tonight?
That is with tonight.
Okay. And experience spent, I'm still at 15, I believe.
You haven't yet you haven't yet bought your necromancy yet.
I have not. I should do that.
I'm at 24.
You should.
I know I spent it on something recently.
Keep in mind that Ashley has a total of 38 experience.
Yep.
Ashley, Olivia's at 40.
Yeah, 40. Yes.
So if I want to put a point in necromancy, how do I go about that now?
It's 10 because that's like a path slash.
And I add that to my talents.
I'm at 40.
You're at 40.
Yeah, you're ahead of us.
My discipline.
Yeah, discipline under disciplines, necromancy, 1 dot. And as the first dot of a discipline, it costs 10 experience. You can find the experience cost thing at the very top of the rules channel.
Mm-hmm.
Did I add that
experience spent is now 25. Oh, so I could put another dot in it? No, I can't. Not yet.
1 per in between session.
Yeah.
Nope.
Because Andrew doesn't like to jump multiple dots.
Unless you're cheating with Diablerie, no. In any case, also under Blood Sorcery, go to the Blood Sorcery tab. I just did it for you because I'm molesting your sheet. I forgot. In any case, you'll note if you scroll down, you'll note there's a path section. What path is your primary path? Did you decide on the Sepulchre path?
Is that the one where I can talk to souls and rip souls out?
Define rip souls out.
Hang on, I gotta go back and look at the things again.
Because pushing a soul out of a body is absolutely in the path of bones. But that's mainly to empty out a vessel so you can put a ghost into it.
What's the one
Um,
that Lynette's doing? That's the one that I wanted to do. Whatever path she's doing.
She does a lot of paths. You're gonna have to specify.
Oh, jeez. Her one where she has like the zombies. What's that one?
Path of Bones.
Okay, so Path of Bones.
The Bone Path, as it's called, actually.
The Bone Path. I thought that was the Sepulchre or whatever it was, but it's the bone. Okay.
Yep. The first dot power of the Bone Path is a very simple ability. It's called Tremens, and Tremens allows the necromancer to make the flesh of a corpse shift once. An arm might suddenly flop forward, a cadaver might sit up, or dead eyes might abruptly open. This sort of thing tends to have an impressive impact on people who aren't expecting it. To use Tremens, you spend a single blood point, and the players must succeed on Dexterity Occult roll to 46. The more successes are achieved, the more complicated an action can be effected in the corpse. One success allows for instantaneous movement, such as a twitch, while 5 allow the vampire to set up specific conditions under which the body animates. The next time someone enters the room, I want the corpse to sit up and open its eyes, sort of thing. Under no circumstances can Tremens cause a dead body to attack or cause damage. At least not directly. You could, however, have a corpse sit in a morgue locker filled with C4 with their hand on a trigger and have them set to trigger it the moment someone enters the morgue.
Oh, that's amazing. That's so cool.
Just to use the most outrageous example I've ever heard it you being used for. But Tremens is really just a little showy power or a little terror power. It's the 1-dot powers on necromancy paths or even like regular thaumaturgy paths usually aren't that impressive. They're just basic stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The second dot will eventually allow you to make a Prentice Broom. It's called Prentice's Brooms. It's basically making zombies just to do chores. Because they'll do a specific task and just keep doing it and cannot fight.
That's cool too.
Shambling Hordes, the 3-dot power is where you get the one where you can make guards or monsters to attack or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
4 is Soul Stealing, where you knock souls out of bodies. And 5, Demonic Possession, is where you knock souls into bodies, such as faiths that you might have bound to you.
Good. So this is the path that I wanted. Because I was reading on all 3 of them, and I knew there was one of them where I could pull souls out, like rip them out.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And you will absolutely want some Sepulchre path eventually as your like secondary path or something, because 3 dots in there allows you to start ordering souls. So you're going to need that eventually. But
I was
right now,
talking to Anna about that. How I wanted to be able to like make zombies, like rip souls out and put them into other things.
Mm-hmm. So bone path for you, yes.
Yes.
Okay, make a note of that in your in the warrants. I'll go ahead and do it for you, but minus 10 XP.
Yep, and I made it 25 now for experience spent.
Alrighty. As for everyone else, if you have anything you want to spend experience on, please make a note of it in your individual private channel. I reserve the right to veto something if necessary, but generally speaking, it would have to be something crazy or against an already established rule for me to say no to it. Any other questions?
Not per se.
So out of character, asking as a player, am I gonna have to start planning for Pius to be sought after in a bad way?
What do you mean?
Because like I know Lynette is like we can't let anyone know that she's there because like she gets hunted. Is Pius gonna have to start worrying about living that type of lifestyle that Lynette lives, like always in hiding? If he starts wandering this path, or is there a way for him to like refine himself and still take that path?
What do you mean?
Like, could Pius go about it differently than Lynette, or is he inevitably going to be walking the path that she walks?
Not inevitable. You could just end up being low humanity for pretty much forever as you lose humanity and then spend experience and actions on regaining it.
Okay.
But yeah, we'll see.
Because I'm fine either way. If I
keep in
I'm
mind,
just trying to
keep
like
in
compare
mind,
like the characteristics.
Keep in mind the alternate path of morality is not illegal at all. So it's not like you're going to get in trouble with the prince for no longer being on humanity. You might raise some questions on where you learned it, but ultimately, it's not going to get you in trouble.
It's like the eating of bodies and stuff isn't gonna get
You're
me in
not
trouble.
eating. You're not eating bodies, and you will never end up eating bodies.
Okay, okay.
That is her clan curse, not a part of necromancy.
Oh, okay. All right. I thought that was like some type of ritual she had to do in order to maintain her
Nope,
abilities or something.
That is her the bloodline Nagaraja. That is their curse. Every
Okay.
vampire type has a curse. That is hers.
And then the Nosferatus is pretty much their figure.
Yeah, the other hideousness. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Hmm.
Well, cool. Then I'm very excited for what brings, what the future brings for Pius.
Now, granted, the Giovanni have recently been reintroduced into the city, and they might take interest if they see someone else running around doing necromancy. So try and keep that as your hush hush super secret power.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's why he's not talking about it with the group. It's gonna be
In any
something
case-
that they're gonna have to slightly notice. On
In
their
any
own.
case, you have gained your first dot of necromancy, and with that comes one automatic 1 dot of a first level ritual. You'll need to pick out a first level necromancy ritual, and so long as Lynette knows it, I'm not going to write down everything she knows because that would be ridiculous and take forever. But just send it to me, and I'll let you know if she has it. And if she does have it, congratulations, you've got it.
Okay. Where do I look for the necromancy stuff?
Necromancy rituals are after necromancy paths in the main book, and they also exist in the other books.
Okay, I'll take a look through them then.
There's a link with all the necromancy rituals. I'll go ahead and send that to you as well. Though some of them are not from this edition, so I might have to turn you down if you're looking to get one of those that she doesn't have.
Okay.
One moment. Oh, you're putting points into that, I suppose. That's nice.
There we go.
What?
Oh, alertness. Okay, that makes more sense. It makes more sense for you. I was just talking to Xena, who was sending me something.
Oh, I see.
No, you don't. It's a private channel. If you can see it, you need to let me know immediately so I can ban you.
No.
No, I know that alertness and perception work together in order to spot things. And
Yeah, it's the mundane form of perception as opposed
let
to the
me
supernatural
ask
form.
you this. Because of the fact that I noticed Thorn's little look, I forgot that I have perception and insightfulness for perception.
Mhm.
Does
That
that
would have gotten you
change
an extra
anything?
die. That would have gotten you an extra die to roll. But you already got 3 successes, so.
I didn't know if 4 might do anything, so.
I mean, you've never met a Diablerist before that you know of.
I haven't, no. It was just more curiosity than anything. Because I always
And let me
forget to,
see.
like, double check, like, well, I forget what they call it, but, like, the expertise of, like, a particular skill or whatever. So.
Yep. Also, Pious, the link I sent you, next to each ritual, there'll be like a little number in brackets. If you click on that, it'll take you to the citation section of the page where it lists that ritual, so you know what book and page number to go to.
Okay, cool.
And now, granted, a bunch of them are not in this edition, so that's not a no, but that is a much less likely for it to be a yes.
Okay. Works for me.
And the thing that you see Lynette doing to preserve bodies is where is it? Boop, boop, boop. It's part of Eastern necromancy. Preserve corpse.
Now, since I don't eat them, what would be the benefit of me using that?
Possibly nothing. Possibly longer lasting zombies, or at least better looking zombies. So
Okay.
not really too much for you to have that unless you just want to help her preserve some food for her pantry. But she's got that well in hand, so you don't need to worry about that.
Right, yeah, she's kind of has that narrowed down.
Yeah, there's a lot of options, and some of them are frankly disturbing and disgusting. Most of the ones that are frankly disturbing and disgusting were probably invented by the Giovanni.
Oh, wow.
I say that looking at where is it? Oh, yes, the 1 dot ritual under Western necromancy called the Rape of Persephone.
So there aren't any, like, specific clan necromancy spells, or worse, like maybe the Malkavian know this only necromancy spell, and Nosferatu only know this type of necromancy spell.
There are actually there are some necromancy paths that are very hard to find outside certain bloodlines. And
Okay.
in the case of one, which Lynette does know because it's the Nagaraja specific one, no matter what you do, you're not learning that one.
Oh man. Is it because I'm not the Nicaragua or whatever it's called?
The Nagaraja.
Nagaraja.
Nagaraja. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, just a content warning. Some of these are pretty messed up though.
Oh, I'm fine.
Necromancy rituals are generally a level above on the gross factor compared to thaumaturgy rituals. But then keep in mind that at least the ones under Western necromancy, which was previously the shoot. I'm drawing a blank here. Let's see, Clan, Empire. That's Giovanni. Ones that came before them. Cappadocians, yeah. They originally were either admitted by the Cappadocians or by the Giovanni, yeah. Much like how the Tremere ate Salot and started hunting the Celebri, the Giovanni did the same thing to the Cappadocians, whose clan curse made them look more and more like a corpse the longer they've been alive.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, they basically started dying out in the Middle Ages. Oop. Just like the Celebri. Okay, so I will let y'all go.
Random question.
Yes.
When it comes to making new ghouls, it has been mentioned that it's a blood bond, but what level of a blood bond does that require? Or is that all three
Technically,
stages?
They become more of a ghoul after it's completed, I think. So you do have to get them up to stage 3, but I could be wrong on that. I'll have to look at the book. It might just be stage 1 that starts it, but considering that you have to keep giving them your blood for them to stay a ghoul, they will eventually, at the very least, be fully bonded. Yes.
Okay, so to become a ghoul, you have to put them through all three stages.
I think they become the ghoul after the first stage, actually, but you got to keep feeding them for them to stay a ghoul. Like Kyle, you have to give Kyle blood once a month usually.
Okay. So he is effectively probably at the third drink already.
Yeah, absolutely. He is the type of ghoul known as the vassal ghoul, in which you were the one that made him the ghoul, and he is fully devoted to you. Whether you're comfortable with it or not, he would gladly die for you, sort of thing.
Gotcha.
It was the choice between saving his own life or saving yours, and just jumping in front of whatever. He would jump in front of whatever.
Yeah.
You okay?
Not the happiest with that, but
Just
If he's
make
alre-
Joshua your meat shield.
dude, I'm afraid that if I made Joshua a ghoul to run the shop at night, it wouldn't even take all three. The dude would just run out there at the first sign of danger. You fuckers fucked with my window, I'm gonna kick your ass.
Only now he'll be doing it with a dot of potence or something like that.
Right. What the hell?
Any other questions from anyone?
Yeah.
No.
I mean, you know what three dots
You
of
probably
presents give
meant to
you.
put that in the general. You probably meant to do that in the
Yeah,
general.
I did.
But anyway, what was that, Xeno?
I mean, you know what I grabbed with, the three dots, right?
Entrancement, yes.
Okay. Aiming to expedite making ghoul gathering easier.
Here, drink my blood. They won't ask any questions if they're entranced.
Alright. Yes, that is definitely Joshua.
You motherfuckers are gonna break into my store.
I should make Joshua a ghoul just on principle. The dude already likes the place, and on top of that, that means that anybody that comes over to fuck with it will actually have to deal with a roided out Joshua who can
I mean,
actually
he quit
handle
his
himself.
job at a college, and on his first shift, got his ass beat by some bikers defending the bagel.
I think that was the second shift.
Oh, the
Second shift.
second shift, but still. And he's still to work every day, bright and early.
You know what, David? You've cemented my decisions.
Yeah, Josh was gonna become a ghoul.
Alright.
You guys have a good night.
You
Yep,
too.
see you later.
Bye.
Bye.